Hey everyone, this is Atul from team K21 Academy, and with me I have my entire team who will be here to help you on the journey for in the next 60 to 90 minutes. So we are going to talk all about Amazon's AWS Solution Architect certification for beginners, including question answer. Few housekeeping. Everyone is muted from for the time being because we have a lot bigger audience right now today. So you are all muted, but you can ask questions. There should be some chat window somewhere where you're watching this, and you should be then look at the chat or post questions on the chat window. Uh, Behind the scene, Aryan is helping you answering all the questions. So I'm going to first introduce and give you some background about AWS, and then why you should be learning, what you need to be learning, and then I'll bring Aryan, who is an AWS certified trainer as well as expert on talking about everything you need to know from on a AWS architect point of view, and we'll give you some examples as well. Primarily, it's targeted for beginners, but if you're already working and have a specific question, would love to take those questions as well. We make these sessions very interactive, so make sure you ask lots of questions. If next 90 minutes should be you've learned a lot, or you should be learning a lot and asking a lot of questions. Is AWS right for me? Or in job I'm not getting a job, or what kind of a role opportunities come? Is this right for me? What should I be doing? Those are the questions you should be doing, and why I'm learning this. What are the other things people are asking? We're going to cover everything. So with that, let's begin with AWS Solution Architect certification for beginners and question answers. So first of all, if you notice in what has happened in terms of development and software development lifecycle and deployment. If you look at the diagram here, 90s, 80s, and 90s in the development used to be waterfall model. Then came agile, and then came DevOps for the development processes. Same way, application has moved from monolithic, which means mainframes, one single application, to the N tier, where you have a database tier, apps tier, and the web tier. And then came microservices, or now the world we are living in is microservices, where small applications, sorry, big application broken down to small functionality and then running as a microservice. And these microservices run on container. So if you look at the deployment and packaging, our physical servers, we used to be physical servers, and then came virtual servers or VMwares, and then now world we are living is containers. So you might have heard word of containers or Dockers, and these Dockers and containers are managed by Kubernetes. And similarly, if you look at the infrastructure point of view, it has gone from data center to the hosted servers to the world we are living right now is cloud. So everywhere you will see and hear and word cloud. So that's what we are going to decipher today. That's what we're going to simplify today. So if you look at Gartner's report, and this is an old report, and 2020 they estimated that it's going to be 250 or close to 250 billion industry. And with COVID, things have changed drastically, and the usage of cloud has grown much quicker than anyone anticipated. And next year they are saying close to 300 billion industry on cloud. And this is just the numbers which are growing at a very fast pace. So you understand where the cloud is moving. Now in cloud, there are multiple players. And if you look at out of these, the Amazon, this is a last year's image, but Amazon still is the biggest player with probably 1/3 of the industry being captured by AWS Amazon. So this is, and the nearest closer one is is Microsoft on that Microsoft Azure. The main reason for companies moving to the cloud is the cost management, the innovation, the speed at which things can be done on cloud. And contrary to the fact, a lot of guys think, oh, cloud is not secure, but in fact, cloud is much more secure if you handle your task properly. And so 22% of the audience go to cloud because of security reasons, but big chunk is still for the cost management point of view. Now, if you look at, because of these rapid growth in cloud market, if you look at the job market, like majority of job is still captured by AWS. Of course, Azure are catching up, or Docker and Kubernetes are coming up at a rapid pace, but still AWS has a big chunk and big market. Now, so just to give you the glimpse of what are the job opportunities, and some of you guys are already here or already know, but if you don't know, this is some of the job opportunities in US I've mentioned. 100 to 125 hours or dollars per hour on a remote basis. Or if you look at the salaries, as per the ZipRecruiter, average is $99,000 to $200,000 per annum. Or 180,000 per year as per the LinkedIn, up to 180,000. Now, I'm not saying you'll get it on day one, but this is the possibility of you if you perform, if you do well. And it's not just only USA, but if you look at India as well, thousands and thousands of job opportunities in India. So if you look at here, now ranging from 12 lakh to probably 1.6 crores in Indian rupees, if we talk about, and huge potential in AWS, as you probably know, or not just US or India, but UK or Middle East or Europe, Singapore, any place you think, you will see job opportunities as well. Now, so that was the story, and still there are a lot of job opportunities for AWS. But what we started noticing is that we started hearing words like Docker, Kubernetes as well in with respect to these opportunities. So you might heard the word AWS, Kubernetes, and we're going to cover some of this Kubernetes briefly towards end as well. So and just to let you know, this is all possible. So whatever we are going to cover today, or what these job opportunities is it possible for you to learn and understand. So this is just one of the examples of Raj Lakshmi, where she has learned these new things, have managed to get a job in spite of having a gap. And again, I'm going to talk about these a little bit later, but whatever you're going to learn here, continue learning that, or maybe go a little bit deep into learning that if you really want to get a better job, and as well as not just for now, but for future as well. So this is all possibility. I'm showing you that people are getting jobs with respect to if you perform, if you do the hands-on as well. But there are a lot of job opportunities, but there is a problem as well with that. And the problem is, you might have noticed that these days, especially after COVID, that for one single job, there are hundreds of CVs comes as well. There are a lot of CVs which people claim and say, hey, I know AWS, I can do AWS, or I work on AWS or cloud or other cloud. And hence, what companies do, they probably are in dilemma whom to call for the interview. Should we call A or B? Because I've got 100 CVs and I can only call 20 guys. So how can I do? And this is where the certification will come handy. So now first point is, tell me, like, don't look anything else. Both the CVs are same, exactly the same. Just one thing, you might notice something on the top is different. So if you're a recruiter, which one will you pick? Type L in the chat window that you'll pick left, or type R if you have to select that CV and then say you're going to pick R. Let me read out some of the answers and say which one you'll take. So Bokobir is saying R, and tell me the reason as well why you've not looked and you just quickly glanced at, and everyone pretty much, Max is saying R, Vinu is saying R, Abhima is saying R, Ankita is saying R, pretty much everyone is saying R. Certification logos, well done, Vinu, Ajay. Because AWS cert, absolutely. So right now, within a second, you've made your opinion that right side CV is different, even or better than left hand side, simply because the certification. So that's exactly I'm saying. When an employer get a CV and they get hundreds of those CVs, and not even technical guys, first scrutiny is with the HR team or the recruitment guys. And if they have 100 and they need to forward it to only 10 guys, they'll forward and see who all are certified. And I'm not saying certification will get you the job as well, or you will clear interview. And for that, you need to have knowledge. And that's what we are going to teach you today on some of this knowledge. So I hope you understand why the knowledge of certification, or why having a certification is important. Now, there are lots of certification, and you might be confused, or should I begin with beginner foundation certificate, or should I do associate or professional or specialist? And that's what I'm going to bring expert for that. Aryan, who's going to tell a little bit more about you. But based on, I started my journey directly with AWS Solution Architect, and that's what I recommend everyone. Though you can begin with foundation, but I don't have that much patience on going through that. Whatever are in foundation, I can learn within associate. So this is what we're going to cover here, and this is what I recommend to everyone, saying start with AWS Solution Architect Associate. And of course, then you can go to the professional and you can become expert. But I'm assuming most of you will be starting here, and that's what we are starting, or that's what we are going to cover today here. So what topics wise we need to learn? What is the percentage of exam? We're going to cover that. Also, the AWS Solution Architect is based on 4 modules. These core competencies, what are these? What needs to be learned? We are going to cover that as well. Also, Aryan is going to talk about the services like foundation services, application services, and deployment and management related services. There are a lot of services. You can get confused and you get lost in these services. So don't need to worry about. Start simple, begin with one, and keep adding more and more. So this is high level we are going to cover as well. We'll also look at things quickly about identity and access management, users, groups, permissions, compute, which is nothing but your Linux or Windows machines, storage, and then briefly about networking. Again, I'm going to keep it high level because I want to take as many questions as possible as well. But if, as I said, if you have a technical if you're already working and have a specific questions, keep posting those questions because behind the scene, Aryan is answering all those questions for you. We'll also look at the architecture, 3-tier architecture. In on-premise, you must have built database tier, apps tier, web tier. On the same lines, you build these 3 tiers here. We're going to talk about briefly about that. And then a e-commerce website implementation, Magento. How do you deploy that into architecture on AWS? So 3-tier architecture, you have a web tier, inactive, active. You have apps tier, active, active. You have the database tier, active, passive, primary and standby. Same thing, but across different availability zone. So what is availability zone? Or what is these dotted lines? These are networks. We'll talk about that as well. Now, what we have done is we have bundled all this, whatever different complications into a step-by-step framework, which is a 11 module framework, which we have bundled together into. So we have further simplified it and put it into a logical framework and followed by a certification exam. And what we have done with that is then we bundled together into a program, which is a comprehensive step-by-step training program. I'm going to tell you towards end, there are only 50 seats, but everyone will teach you the theory part. Everyone will do the labs, but our labs are much more 30 labs. Exam preparation, you'll be doing the sample questions, but the most important part is 1 year on-job support. This is something which probably no one will give on-job support. And with that, the practical examples or implementation will cover about everything about that. So this is, I'm going to tell you towards end. If you like today's session, first 60 minutes or so, then we'll open up and would love to be part of this. Now, followed by these are the labs. We provide these 30 labs that you'll be doing, and we'll get a glimpse of that, which is probably lab number 5 we are going to create today here so that you can see or sense how it's being done. Maybe you've already done lab 1 and probably you will be doing lab 5 as well. For some reason, if you can't be able to finish your labs, don't worry, we'll give you the steps to do it later as well. So like that, we are going to give you 30 lab in the program that we mentioned. Now, as I said, it's all possible and it's doable. It's simple, but you need to follow the process. And as I said, Rajalakshmi, with a gap of 2 years, she can do it. Bhanvendra, very young, just passed out of the college, he can do it. A lot of my other students can do it. So hang on, that's not enough. We're going to once I do that, we are going to talk about, as I said, AWS Kubernetes as well. So later, once I explain about the program, later then we'll also go into Docker and Kubernetes. Now, some of you guys have already have heard of these words, and some of you, when we start from now, you'll start seeing job opportunities, Kubernetes, word Kubernetes everywhere. So we'll give a brief about Kubernetes can be implemented on AWS, and in fact, big implementation in AWS. In fact, AWS is the biggest cloud implementation for Kubernetes. We call EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service, Fargate, ECS. We'll talk about that as well. What are the difference between these three options? Which one you'll be picking? And then briefly touch base with the architecture of EKS. So we'll talk about that and the workflow, how the workflow happens right from begin to end, complete picture of Kubernetes workflow on AWS. So, and followed by the 5 labs, which we do. I think we are hitting a limit. Sorry for that. So I think we are hitting a limit. Sorry, guys, on the number of attendees. So I'm glad that you managed to make it today. So we are also going to do the hands-on lab. So this is the lab which we recommend for Amazon EKS, deploying Kubernetes on AWS. Now, we have a separate program which is Kubernetes on AWS, which is Amazon EKS. We sell it for $497, but you can get that program absolutely free, but only if you register for the program today or for fast action bonus as well. I'm sorry, guys, this hitting limit. So again, this is another a few more success stories for someone who has done these Kubernetes certifications as well. We'll talk about that as well a little bit later, but I wanted to bring as quickly as possible our expert who's going to teach you about some of these things. So these are some, not only like individuals which have shown, but a lot more success stories. And again, why I'm bringing these stories are because they inspire you to take action. These are the real guys with their LinkedIn profile. If they can do it, you can do it as well. And not just these individuals, but also a lot of corporate customers across the globe, from Saudi Arabia, US, UK. I've worked on same kind of a workshops. We also do workshop as well. So if any of your company wants a workshop, more than happy to reach out to my team towards end. Now, with all this, let's see what we're going to cover today. So this is what you'll learn today. So first of all, we'll say why and who should learn AWS. We'll look at very briefly cloud service model, deployment model, and AWS services. So IaaS, PaaS, SaaS, public cloud, private cloud, different type of AWS services. And this is where Aryan is going to give a demo. He's going to show it on your machine, and if you have already created an account, you will do it with him. If not, you can do it later. I'm going to give you the step as well in the email, so keep an eye on your email. Then we'll talk about these briefly, about these 5 core services that you need to do, including high availability architecture. And then we'll touch base about the certification and then hands-on lab you must perform in order to clear the certification. We'll look at some of the job opportunities. We'll go a little bit deep in terms of if you're struggling with your job, let us know about that as well. So we'll talk about that. And then I'll propose about the program that I mentioned. And after that, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about then Docker and Kubernetes in AWS, or EKS, ECS, Fargate, and then question answers. So with that, very quickly about me, you've heard some of you guys already know me, but those who don't know me, I have 20 plus years of experience in IT. Last few years have been extensively on cloud, primarily on Oracle cloud, but then last few years we started realizing that customers don't rely just on one cloud. Customers want AWS cloud, customers want Azure cloud. So multi-cloud is name of the game now. Gone were the days where you were happy with one cloud, but if you have not started journey, there's no problem. You need to start immediately now and start one cloud, and then maybe upskill yourself to multi-cloud. So I help I've already helped 5,000 plus individuals to learn various technologies, especially on cloud, and last few years, as I've been saying, cloud. So the main point is about Aryan, he's an expert in AWS. He's going to, once he comes, you'll hear him and he'll explain. He'll go a little bit deep. I am nowhere close to what he knows, so that's why I know a lot about AWS, but then I thought I should be bringing an expert who knows better than me. So he's working with or Aryan is working with AWS since 2013, so it's quite big, long time in cloud, especially in cloud. So last 7 years extensively in AWS, he's done a lot of certifications, so he can ask a lot of questions. Not only AWS architect, but he's also professional and security, big data, and a lot more. So with that, just go and introduce yourself and say, where do you stand? Type B if you're a beginner, type I if you're an intermediate, or type E if you're an expert. So intermediate is you're working on cloud, AWS, but not certified. Or beginner is you've touch base just briefly, but don't know much about it. Or E for expert, you already are certified, so that I can tell or I can see and we can shape this training accordingly. So I see a lot of B. 1 second. Or in the meantime, I'll also going to hand it over to, and then I'll pick up some of the questions. So if you have any questions, I'm going to pick up. Or Yamini, if you see any question, which I might have, like one question, I can pick it. Someone has typed C. So guys, there is no option called C. 1 second, who's that C? Mark, A, B, okay. So there's no C. B for beginner, I for intermediate, and E for expert. 1 second, let me hand it over to, guys, we are hitting 500 limit, 495, 6, gosh. We should have bigger audience, bigger group. 1 second. Aryan, I'm going to make you presenter. And if you can, yes. So I think you're a presenter. While we are saying, guys, so make this session interactive, focus, and make sure you focus and stay attentive. Don't log out first of all, because you'll be booted out and you'll not be able to come back in. There are a lot of guys waiting on the for the room. Now, yeah, this is the right place, Anand, for the chat window. How much opportunity for fresher in AWS and DevOps? Raghupati, very good question. I'm going to take this question in a minute. Is this common chat window for tutor is watching? Yes, Dinesh. Tutor is also watching this. Yes. What is the difference between solution architect and developer associate? We're going to cover all this. Certification they are providing will be from AWS or K21 Academy. It will be from AWS. We don't We only provide our own course completion certificate, but Shrikant, it will be from AWS. You'll be writing for AWS. Okay. What is good path for Oracle Apps DB? We will cover that. There are a lot of questions coming. Keep these questions coming, guys. So with that, Aryan, over to you. I know you're expert, but let's show some magic and let's do some magic. A lot of guys are here. So over to you, Aryan.
Hey, thank you, Atul, for your quick introduction. Quick check. Everybody are able to hear my voice loud and clear and can see my screen, right? Just a quick guess.
Yes, you're loud and clear. Wonderful.
Okay, cool. So let me start with beginning with why learn AWS, because Atul has already covered a few basics. So let me start with going very briefly over it. So as you all know, Atul already told that AWS is the leader in the cloud market, and due to several reasons, as you can see in the screen, because of the cost management, because of the security, visibility, and performance, we have AWS adopting a lot of clients, and they're the leader in the current market, with second being Microsoft Azure. So learning AWS is one of the quite reason that it's a top leader, and you get a lot of job opportunities, as Atul told. So as you can see, the growth rate of it's around as you can see in my screen, there is around $3 billion of growth rate, and this is also giving you.
Sorry. I think I just saw a message that I was going very fast. So guys, I'm very passionate about this topic. So if I go very fast, let me know. Or if Aryan goes slightly fast, just let us know in the chat window as well. So Aryan, you can go slightly like at your own pace. I know I said we only have 30-40 minutes, but I leave it to you as long as you at the right pace at the right time. Over to you, Ravi. This is just for me. Yeah. Over
Sure,
to you.
Atul. Okay. So this is about, as you can see, this is the Amazon growth rate, and the way the Amazon growing is predominantly well, and due to which the job opportunities are also increasing all over the cloud market. And as you can see in my screen, these are all the various clients what Amazon is providing. When in Amazon providing support, as you can see, you see all the major clients like Netflix, whatever you use in daily to daily basis. You have Philips, you have Infosys, you have a lot of ICICI companies. There are a lot of Tata companies. There are a lot of companies which are using AWS for their running their workloads. And when they are using the AWS to run their workloads, so they would need AWS expert like us to work on the professionals. That is where the job gets created, and that is where the job market is increasing. And more the clients what AWS handles, there will be more AWS opportunities coming into picture. So quickly, we're going to discuss about the cloud and the service model. We'll understand basically, I know most of you are aware what is cloud, but then we're just going to cover what is cloud and what is what are the different service models, what is there in the global market with respect to the cloud. So what is a cloud? Cloud is nothing but a model which will help you to give you a configurable compute resources which are required to run your application. So basically, you require to run your application is a server or a virtual machine. You would need a database, you would need a application server, and also you would need an operating system and an hardware. So all these things, however, they can give you over an internet or through your browser. So that model is called a cloud. It's simply said that if you can access a compute resources or a database resources or an application resources over the internet from anywhere in the world, so that is simply called a cloud. And as you know, in the cloud there are several leaders like AWS, Azure, GCP, Google, and also we have Oracle. And as you know, AWS is the leader over here. Now, in the global market, entire cloud service model is divided into three aspects. But in order to understand, we need to know what is happening in your on-prem infrastructure. So whenever you're running an application, if you want to run an application on-prem infrastructure, so as you can see, whatever you can see in my screen, from starting from the networking to an application, everything has to be done by the client. As you can see, so everything has to be done by the client, and they have to spend their time and effort for every aspects of it in order to make their application up and running. Similarly, due to which there was a next service model which was introduced, that is infrastructure as a service. So as you can see in the infrastructure of the service, whatever you're seeing in the sky blue color, it's been managed by the cloud vendor. The virtualization, server, storage, and networking is managed by the cloud vendor. You are, as a client, your job is to take care of the operating system, middleware, runtime, data, and application to run your application up and running. So here, as you can see, 50% of your task is taken care by the cloud vendor, and you just need to focus on the 50% of the task. After this, so we also got a next service model, that is platform as a service. So wherein the platform as a service, in addition to whatever was given as an infrastructure, they are giving you a platform as well. So the infrastructure and the platform, like the OS, middleware, and runtime, is taken care by the cloud vendor. And in your job as a client, your job is to just maintain your data of your application and write the code of your application and deploy them into the platform. So here you do not have to worry about the runtime. So you can just write an application in any of the code you prefer, like Java, Python, Node.js, Golang, any code you prefer, and just deploy your application in that, and your application is going to run completely fine without any problem. So here the runtime, the infrastructure, everything is taken care by the cloud vendor. So apart from that, we also have an additional service model which came, is that is a software as a service, which is also called a SaaS. In the SaaS, what happens is everything with respect to your application is given by the cloud vendor, and your job is to know how to use that application. So this is the different cloud service model which is there in the global market, and in order to have your build your career in the cloud, so knowing this cloud service model will really help. And also coming to the cloud deployment model, how can I put my application in the cloud? So there are basically three different ways you can put your application in the cloud. So let me go one by one. One is a public cloud. When you have an application which you want to be accessible from the all over the world, so such kind of applications can be deployed in the public cloud, wherein everybody all over the world can access your application or a website. So let's take an example of a website like social media website like Facebook or Twitter. So these websites has to be accessible by everyone all over the world. Such kind of websites or web applications can be put to the public cloud. Now next thing, we have something called a private cloud, wherein you need to have certain applications like your company owned applications, wherein which the company applications which are only specific to your own employees. So such kind of application has to be accessed by only in a private network. So such kind of application can be deployed in private cloud, and we also have an option to do it, wherein this private cloud is highly secure, and nobody else can access this particular application which is there in the private cloud. So post that, we also have a combination of a public cloud and a private cloud, which is called hybrid cloud. And this hybrid cloud is being used by most of the clients for to run their application. So advantages of hybrid cloud is that you can take an benefits of using a public and also with and keeping certain applications as a private. Now what happens is when you divide your application as a different tiers, like a web tier or an application tier or a database tier, it is not necessary for you, since it's your web application, it is not necessary for you to keep everything public because of the security concerns. So by using an hybrid cloud, what happens is you get to decide what server, what tier can be in a public, what tier can be in a private. So that let's say in our example of 3-tier architecture, what we do in what most of the companies does is, say they put the web tier in the public cloud, and they keep the application tier and the database tier in the private cloud. And that is where your hybrid cloud come into picture. And most of the this is the I would say 80% of the organizations use a hybrid cloud. So these are the various cloud deployment models. What do we have?
Good one. Just 1 second. I think there are some questions are coming, so let me take while we are at this point. We have just finished. I would just want to add some few points to what Aryan mentioned. So first of all, someone asked, what is an example of a platform as a service? So earlier I mentioned when you run database as a cloud service. So there is a database cloud service. There are some DBAs here. I'm going to cover their questions as well. But database cloud service is an example of platform as a service. I mentioned earlier about Kubernetes, running Kubernetes on the cloud. So Kubernetes is an example of running Kubernetes, which is Elastic Kubernetes service. That's an example of platform as a service, and so on. Now, just want to add a few points onto this public, private, and hybrid. So public cloud is where all the customers, anyone can go and register account and run their servers. That's public cloud. So the cloud account that you created is a public cloud. You can create, I can create, someone else can create. Everyone is on that cloud. Private cloud is cloud only for a particular customer. So you say, I want to run my own cloud so that no one else data, or I'm not sharing servers with anyone. Data is not shared with anyone. So that's where the private cloud is. Private cloud could be in cloud. Private cloud could be in my premises, but running some my database, like my cloud properties. What I mean by cloud properties are my dynamically provisioning servers, or billing, a lot of other properties that cloud represents. So, and as Aryan mentioned, that having some application on private cloud and some on public cloud, that's where hybrid cloud is. Now, while I'm this topic, and let's move on, I'll be moving on quickly onto the one. First few questions I'm going to pick and keep posting these questions. Raju is saying, who can learn and become an expert. And someone was asking about what is the age group of learning. So first of all, there is no age group of learning. As long as you have right attitude to learn, desire to learn, learning is simple. But you need to be learning in a structured way. So it can be very simple or it can be very difficult as well. So there's no age limit. You have right attitude and to learn. And someone told me when I was starting 20 years back that, hey, you can't learn apps DBA directly. You have to do something else and then work as under a junior DBA and then become an apps DBA. So they were saying, and someone, and one of my, I still remember my mentor, they said, oh, you can directly go to apps DBA provided you learn concepts well. And I did that, and I was like among the first few ones. And I'll tell you that story a little bit later maybe. But I started my career as an apps DBA, Oracle apps DBA. Doesn't mean that you need to be apps DB or apps DB to learn cloud, but that's possibility that you can learn anything. So that's one. We know the saying, AWS or Azure, which one to learn. Now, again, to be frank, it doesn't matter whether you learn AWS or Azure. My objective here is, or my suggestion to you would be learn something one, pick up one and add second one. Sanrat Sanrat is saying, I'm a DBA with 17 years of experience. Is it good decision to move? Absolutely. In cloud AWS, yes. I come from a database background. I've moved I've started with Oracle Cloud, then and then AWS Azure multi-cloud. So yes, absolutely. Vijay, I'm going to take your question a little bit later. Over to you, and let's carry on, and I'll pick up some more questions as well on the journey. So over to you,
Sure.
Aryan.
Sure. Okay. So moving on, guys. So I see some of the questions are coming up with the you're from a different background. You're from a database background. You're from a networking background. And can I use AWS Cloud? And is it suitable for me? So let us look into the services which AWS is offering. And you can see that for every category, AWS is having a service. So let us go through them. So as you can see under the computing, so compute is nothing but your virtual machines. And those of you who are working on application development and working on a servers, for them we have a plethora of services. As you can see, we have a server-based virtual machines. We also have a serverless-based virtual machines. So this is are the different categories. And also if you want to if you want to distribute the traffic between different servers, we also have a load balancer. And we also have an auto scaling which will provision your servers on demand basis. So there are a lot of services which comes with under compute service with AWS. And also if you go further, we also have networking services. I see someone pinging that I'm from networking background. So even as you know, for any application to run, we need networking, right? Without networking, application cannot communicate with each other, and even you cannot communicate to the application without networking. So for and AWS cloud is, again, it's an infrastructure setup. And if you want to set up your application in AWS, the networking is pretty much needed. And we set up a networking using concepts like VPC. It's a virtual private cloud. And we also have a networking concept to connect our on-prem application to the AWS data centers, so such as like VPN and direct connect. So moving on, coming to the next category, we have storage and CDN, wherein storing your data is pretty much required for all the applications, for all the requirement, right? Be it a big data, be it an IoT, be it a DevOps, be it a machine learning. We need to store a data, and then only we can analyze it. So in order to store a data, it's not just one service. You are having several services like S3, EPS, and EFS, which is used for a different scenario, and which can be leveraged to have an advantage and optimize the cost, and you can efficiently store your data. And also you can also deliver the content dynamically over the world, all over the world, which is a content delivery network. You can also use a content delivery network with a service called AWS CloudFront. And with respect to databases, right, I see some of you who are telling that I'm a database admin, so I worked as a database background. So with respect to databases, right, AWS provides you a plethora of database services. As you can see, we have Amazon RDS, which provides you support for relational databases. So, and it supports all the major 6 engines like Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, MariaDB, PostgreSQL. So it supports all the 6 engines, and you can implement your database on AWS with an RDS, which will be a which will wherein it will support all your platform and an infrastructure required, and you just need to put your data and start querying with it. And also we have a serverless databases like Amazon DynamoDB, which will help you to deal with non-structured data or an unstructured data. And we also have an in-memory database which supports 2 major open source engines like Memcached and Redis, that is called Amazon Elastic Cache. And we also have a data warehousing solution. Let's say you want to do a data warehousing. So in AWS, we have a data warehousing solution that is called Amazon Redshift. Right. And coming to the security and identity management. So as you all know, whenever we're working on an IT environment with respect to any application, maybe though security and identity management is must. You must be handling in a certain way in your on-prem. You must be handling in a certain way in your application. So in AWS, we can handle it in a better way using the security and identity management services like IAM, which will help you to grant the access to the certain users and certain users to access your account and work on them. And also we have, with respect to security, all the data or all the applications which are stored in AWS can be encrypted. So we have a services like KMS, wherein you can use a concept called bring your own key concept, because most of the customers, when cloud came into picture, most of the customers were reluctant to move to the cloud because of the encryption reliability. Then AWS came up with an opportunity that you can bring your own key and provide your own key and encrypt your data. So with that, most of the customers from the banking sector and healthcare sector started moving to AWS, and which wherein they were happy about it and they are highly secure. As you can see, as you saw, everybody saw in the previous slide, around 18 to 20% were of the applications were moved to the cloud because of the security concerns. So with respect to we also have a management tools. As you all know, there is something called an operation team or an ops team. Whenever you have a project running or a software running, we are not talking about a one software. We are not talking about a one application. When your company running a multiple application, the ops team is required for it in order to maintain a certain configuration management system and also the automation of the process. So all those things can be achieved. Operational excellency can be achieved by these management tools. Right, these are all the various services which we have in AWS, and I think it covers almost all the categories what you guys have worked on, and all those categories and all those whatever you worked on can be done in AWS in a better way, and also I would say in the best way. And as you can see, we also have a different foundational
Sorry if you go.
services.
Yeah, carry on. I'll take question after this one. You carry on,
Sure.
please.
So we also have a different services categorized into a foundational, application, and deployment management. It's the same service what we discussed previously, but it is categorized in a way wherein you can see the foundational services we see, which we normally use, like the virtual machine, like the storage, the database, and networking, which is almost pretty basic and which is required for any application to run. And we also, on top of it, we also have an application services which will help you to make your application secure, safe, and also do some analysis on your data which is there, like analytics. And also if you want to automate your deployment, and also if you want to manage your application, you can do it with services like application services. And we also have a deployment and management services wherein all the alerting mechanism, monitoring mechanism, and if you want to run your application on the mobile apps, if you run the mobile apps, you want to do it, you can all achieve using the deployment and management services. So these are all the various services what AWS is having, and each of these services are very efficient, and they have their own rules to do it, and they have their own use cases to do it, right? So
Yeah, so before we
Atul,
go, yeah, so I was
yeah,
saying is like we'll go to the demo and we'll explain what the demo is. Can you go back to the previous slide? Now the question
okay,
was coming is, first question is, do we need to learn all these services? Answer is yes and no. So not to a very detail, but yes to know you understand all these services. Now next question is, are you going to cover all this in the program? Yes, we are going to cover all these services in the program. Some services will go deep, some services will keep high level, because program is focused on two things: certification as well as the job. So whatever is focused on job will focus on job. We'll do a lot of practical examples, and hence if you see our labs, we do 30 labs, which is much more than what anyone can do or want to do or is required for the certification, but they help in the job. That's first thing. Second thing was about uh, about uh, like a lot of other things you may be required from the certification point of view. So we do combination of that. Anemika is asking how much time it will be required to do the certificate preparation. So I think we say probably around 6 to 8 weeks. Sometime it will be 6 weeks, sometime maybe 8 weeks, but 6 to 8 weeks idle time. Some guys can do it quicker, have done quicker as well. Some guys might take longer, but without getting overwhelmed. And hence we suggest to do at your own pace. You do and learn at your own pace, and hence we provide the recording and the unlimited retake and other things which I'm going to take a little bit later as well. Someone was saying, I'm from a non-IT background from 13 years experience. Can I move into AWS? Absolutely. Now, Vilayuddin people will say, oh no, you can't do, or that's or it's not possible, and people will all sort of things will give you negative things. Don't listen to any of them. I see a lot of guys, as long as I said you have passion and your attitude to learn, right attitude to learn. Absolutely, Ajay, same to you as well. No IT background, absolutely you can do that. You need to start somewhere. I'm not saying that it'll be easy, but we'll make it easy for you as long as you have right attitude to learn. One more thing, Nab is saying, I'm from a testing background. Is it possible to move to cloud? Absolutely, you must be moving to cloud if you're from a testing background. The reason being is that someone needs to test cloud. I'm going to build, architect will design the system, administrator will build it, developers will develop the code and run it. Who's going to test it? So Nab, I hope you understand this. And if you do overall architecture, this will tell you the overall picture, and then you can deep dive into this. Sayali is saying ETL developer, I'm going to take that question towards end. Vijay is saying C++ developer, I'm going to take that question towards end as well. Abhijit is saying any educational background will matter to get certified or job? No. So as long as you're expert in AWS, I can guarantee that. So people start looking other things because you don't have the core thing. So as long as you have the core thing and you do the labs, even if you're a fresher, don't when a lot of guys come and say, hey, and again, this is I'm talking about our programs, and I'm teaching this law now 7-8 years. I started 2017, 13 years teaching this. Last few years been repeat questions. Oh, I don't have experience. Oh, I'm a fresher. No one will give me a job. If you go to a person with saying, oh, I'm a fresher, I'm not getting a can you give me a job? No one will give you a job. But if you go to the person and say, I can do this, I have done 30 labs, not don't say labs, but I've done 30 things in the cloud. I can do this, I can do that to you. Will you be able to offer me a job? And don't worry about money, but I do the good job, and then let me know. And that's what will make you different. That's what will earn you a lot of money, or without gaps as well. So I hope I'm making sense. There are a lot of questions are coming. One question is coming about developers. What things we should be developers doing? I'm not saying that it's not good and you should be learning as well, but there's another program we do which is certified Kubernetes application developer, targeted for developers, which is how do you build your applications and migrate them for Kubernetes world, because things are moving into microservices, things are going cloud native. So how do you, whatever you're doing, continue developing that in Java, .NET, C++, Python, whatever you're learning, but bundle that and make it container native, Kubernetes ready, and run it with Kubernetes. This is certified Kubernetes application developer. Reach out to my team at contact@k21academy.com. But any administrators, testers, architects, stay here, or cloud beginners, stay here. I'm going to cover that. Does the lab covers how to give the solution? Absolutely, Jay Ganesh, that cover. What opportunities are more linked to my profile? Remizio will take the question. I've not seen your background, or you're with a data center operation background. How can I integrate AWS in my profile? You are the perfect one. You should be moving these data center applications from on-premise to cloud. I have hundreds of questions coming, so let's move on. We'll go on a demo, quick demo, and if you can, guys, work with us, like, stay focused here. But over to you, Aryan. Give them and what we're going to cover in the demo, and then we'll pick it from there.
Yeah, sure. So, guys, I have a quick question. So, what we're gonna do in a demo is that we're gonna make one of the content to which is completely going global within couple of minutes. But then I want to ask you guys question that if you plan to make your content to be accessible from the entire world, how much time would you take? Just you can type your numbers, and is it be minutes or it can be hours, and how much time it would take for you guys. So here in this demo, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use an S3 service, which is a simple storage service. And in that S3, we're gonna upload a content, and it might be an image or it can be anything. In our demo, we're gonna upload an image, and that image I can make it to be available to the entire world within a second. So that is one of the demo what we're gonna do it. And this particular concept has been used by all the companies, and I'm sure K21 is also using the same one. So before going further, so I would recommend everybody to have this AWS free tier account. I
Yeah,
think
if
I'm
you go,
sure you guys
sorry, we'll go back. Go back. Can you work the previous slide? So this is what we are going to do. Again, this is one of the simplest use case. You can achieve it with number of days, but that's what made AWS what AWS is today, which is simple storage service. Back in 2002, sharing your document was the most difficult task on internet, and AWS came with an example of, and pretty much every company uses it for document sharing. What are all our lab things? Protected or unprotected, these are on our using Amazon S3, and pretty much everyone is using. That's not the only service. As we said, you can build your servers, you can build your virtual machines, you can build your networks, you can build entire databases running on the cloud. So this is one of what we're going to do. Is we're going to create a bucket, then we're going to upload a file, and then we'll set a permission so that you can access it. So very simple. If you go into the next slide. So I hope you all have accounts so you can log in at the same time. If you don't, and don't worry if you can't do it together, we'll send you instructions. You can do it later. So if you go to k21academy.com/AWS SA13, that is a step to create a free account. AWS gives everyone a free account. You can create it. Next one, if you go next one. Next slide, please. And then you'll be logging into the console. Again, another blog we have done, k21academy.com AWS SA12. You can log into the console and see the console. Next one. And then this is where whatever we are going to cover is already there, documented and done. So you can do it after the class as well. So what Aryan is going to do is Aryan is going to do the same thing here by connecting to AWS account. We are assuming you already have that account. You can work with us. Any problem, put in the chat window. I'm looking at it. But let's do it quickly, please, Aryan. Over to
Yeah,
you, Aryan.
sure. Okay, so I'm quickly logging into my management console, and if you can see my screen, this is how your so this is how your AWS management console looks like, and which is having a brief information, and the services whatever we discussed previously, right? You can see all those services listed out here. If you click on the services, and as you can see here, all the services are listed out here in the category basis. You see compute, we have different services, we have storage, we have databases, we have migration and transfer, we have containers, we have internet of things, we have blockchain, business applications, analytics, management and governance, security and identity. So there are various categories under which we have plethora of services which is used for a different use cases. And in this particular demo, what we're going to do is we're going to use a basic storage service. That is, as you can see here, under the storage section, we have something called S3 service. S3 stands for those of you who are not aware, S3 stands for simple storage service. It is triple S3. It's a simple storage service. And when you click on that S3 service, this is how your S3 dashboard looks like. So here, what we're going to do is, as a first step, what we're going to do is we're going to create a bucket. So bucket is similar to your folder, what you have. I mean, it's not exactly a folder, but just in a layman term, you can understand it as a folder. So what you'll have to do, you'll have to click on this plus create bucket, and it'll ask you for a bucket name. And this bucket name has a certain naming convention, and it should not have any capital letter. So I'm gonna do it as K21 demo. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click on create. Okay, it is already existed. As I told you, we should have a unique name here. So I can give it as 123 and click on create. As you can see, my K21 demo 123 bucket got created. Now here we have a bucket, and by default all the buckets and all the data whatever you put in, it will be blocked by the public access. It will be accessible only from your account. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna upload a basic image, and I'm gonna show you whether I will be able to access it through the internet or not. So how do you upload a data to the particular bucket? It is simple. Just click on upload and click on add files. It'll browse through your computer. Here you can just go to the picture section, and let's say I'm gonna upload this particular picture. It's a simple picture, an animated one. So I'm gonna upload this. And as you can see, it gives me a metadata information that what is the size and what is the format as well, which is good. It is a size of 102 KB. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply click on upload. And if you see, I get a 1 success rate, and it is telling that my data has been uploaded into S3 bucket. Now, if I want to access this data and if I want to make it global, so there are a couple of things we have to do it. We have to set up the permission accordingly. But before that, let us check whether I am able to access this data publicly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this object or a data. And whenever you one of the advantage of S3 is whatever the object we upload, right, it will be tagged with a unique URL. So if you scroll down here, we have an URL. So let me use this URL and try to access from my browser and see what I'm going to get. So as you can see, it says access denied. So it is telling that you do not have a permission to log in. So it says access denied. So what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna change the permission and make it public. So let us see how to do it. So I'm gonna go back to my bucket. So here under the permissions, if you see the permission tab, click on the permissions, and there is a button called block public access. And if you select that, and if you scroll down, you have an option to, as you can see, it is block all public access. It is on as of now. By default, all the data what you put in public access will not be allowed because of the security concerns. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on edit and I'm going to turn it off and click on save. So it's going to ask me to confirm. So I'm going to type confirm and confirm it and click on confirm. Now, as you can see, the public access settings updated successfully. Now we made our particular bucket public. Now the second step what we have to do is we have to make our the data public. So for that, what we're going to do is we're going to click on the data, and inside the data you have something called permission tab. Again, go to your permission tab, and if you scroll down, you have public access to grant. So I'm going to click on everyone, and it'll give me a pop-up. So I'm going to allow access to read, and I'm also going to access to read and write object permissions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on save. So now I've done with the configuration of the permission. So what we're going to do is, so let me go back to the data and see whether I'm able to access it. So if you see, this is my bucket, and if I click on this particular data, and I'm getting the URL. So if I want to open this, let me see if I'm able to access. And as everybody can see, I'm able to access this data. So that was our quick demo, guys.
Now, guys, this is again, this is just to say, like earlier, I know it's quite simple now in current world. It looks simple, but this used to be the big task in olden days or back into 10 years to 12 years back. And still, pretty much every website they have the hosting their documents run on this. And this is just to give you the glimpse of that to what things you should be doing. But main is, how do you create a virtual machine? How do you create databases? How do you create network? How do you configure highly available active across servers? There's a lot much to cover as well. So we are, I think we are running a little bit behind, 10 minutes behind, but over to you, Pawan, over to you.
Sure. So coming back to our discussion, so we're going to discuss a basic AWS architecture, because as you know, this is mostly we are focusing on solution architect. So as a solution architect, you're expected to know the different architecture of applications. So if you can see my screen, we have a multi-tier architecture, which is an highly availability. So which maintains an higher availability, because nowadays every client looks for an higher availability of application, because they do not want to have their application down at any point of time. So in order to achieve that, we want to maintain higher availability. So here, as you can see, we have a different tier of architecture, which is a 3-tier architecture, wherein, as you can see, the first web tier has been configured to the load balancer, wherein through the load balancer the network is being distributed to the web tier, right? And next the application tier and the database tier, as you can see here, it's been in the application tier is also both active. So here also the web tier both are active. So here what is happening, that the traffic has been getting distributed. Even here also the traffic is getting distributed between the application tier. And coming to the database, which is in the private cloud, here in the database, it is used as a master slave database or a master standby database, wherein the data is being read and write from the database, master database. And if anything goes wrong for this database, right, if anything goes wrong, the standby database will come into picture and the connection gets established. So that no matter what, if you enable an highly available architecture, right, no matter what, anything goes wrong with respect to your operation, networking, database, software or hardware, we have an active server already there to support your application, so that the end customers will not face any glitches or latency. So this is what every client requires now, and this is what every customers are looking for.
Now,
And
guys,
coming to the
sorry to go back. So whatever you're doing earlier in on-premise world, the same thing you'll be building on the cloud as well. So I hope, is it all making sense? So you can build your multiple web tier, and not only in on-premise, you can only have one data center. Here, by default, you're deploying across two data centers called availability zone. That's what is going to, so Aryan is going to tell you next around that. Is it all making sense? Just put in the chat window, is it all making sense, this architecture, especially those who are from infrastructure background? Jem Thomas is saying yes. Um, Someone is saying, is this live recording? Rimzi, no, it's not live recording. It's you are here. Sorry, it is live. It's not recorded. It's live. Rimzi, sorry. Yes, making sense. Yes, yes. So far, well done, brilliant. Over to you. Let's continue. So this is what we covered earlier. That two sites active across availability zone. What is that? How do you do that? That's a global infrastructure. Over to you, Aryan.
Yeah, as Atul rightly said, so AWS can achieve this higher availability due to these two concepts, that is region and availability zone. As you can see, AWS is having several regions, and every region will have an availability zone. Like as you can see, minimum AWS is configured its global infrastructure in such a way that every region should have a minimum of 2 availability zone. It can be more than 2. So as you can see currently in my picture, we have 3 availability zone, and these 3 availability zones are nothing but the data centers itself. So these are the data centers, and I put my application here, and I'm going to put my application here as well, so that if this particular data center goes down, still my application is working fine with this particular data center. So this is why this is how we can use an active and active passive mechanism. And if you want to go for an higher level of availability, you can also keep your application in the different region itself. So I'm going to keep my application here as well. In the worst case scenario, let's take a worst case scenario, and if my entire region goes down, so there is another region to support my application, and my application will be up and running always. So this is the basic idea behind how AWS achieves higher availability for their application. And let us briefly go through different services, basic services here. So as I told you regarding the IAM, right? So IAM users, and these are the security services which will help you to grant the permission to your AWS account. Now you have an AWS account, so it's not you are the only one who is working on this AWS account. You will have a list of employees who are developers, who are architects, or who are admins. So everybody is not necessary to access all the services, right? So AWS is having 175 plus services, and everybody is not required to access all the services, and you're going to bifurcate the permission using an IAM service. So coming to the compute and storage, as you can see, it's a simple virtual machine, and virtual machine is nothing but a server, and virtual machine has to store a data in a particular storage, which is a consistent storage, that is called elastic block storage. So this is how it looks like in cloud, wherein we have an EC2 virtual machine, and EC2 virtual machine is a server, and it stores all this application data in the EBS volume, which is a consistent storage. Now moving on to the networking, as I told you beginning, so in the beginning, networking is very important aspect, and for an application to run. If you want to visualize a server in an AWS, this is how it looks like. So AWS will be having a network which is called a VPC, and inside a VPC is where you will be having a different subnet, which is again a logical division of your VPC, and within that your server will be sitting. So as you can see, there will be a layer of networking and security will be, as you can see, there are different layers, and there are additional layers as well, which will secure your data with respect to networking. And the server what is running will be running inside this, the server, whatever we run, whatever spin up in AWS, it will be always inside a VPC. Clear? And coming to the architecture, right? This is one of the predominantly used architecture, which is a 3-tier architecture wherein we have a web, app, and DB tier. So here, as you can see, we have a web server which is mostly deployed in the public cloud, and which can be accessible to the outside world. And this app tier and the database tier will be in a private cloud, wherein nobody can access from the outside world.
Oh,
And
sorry.
this can be
Sorry guys, by mistake typo, or like I think is because of time constraint. So what I think Aryan means is a public subnet and private subnet. So it's one cloud only. We are doing in so the top layer web servers are on public subnet. So when you define a subnet, if you see on the dotted line earlier, you have a network. Network has a subnetwork which is called as subnets. So you're defining, like in your on-premise also, you have a 3-tier. You have a web database tier, web tier, and an app tier. So database tier is in the most secured zone, which is a super militarized zone. You put it in one subnet. So that's a private subnet, which means no one from internet can connect to this machine directly, or this machines in this network. Then you have app tier, again that's protected, and then web tier. So web tier can never go to directly to database tier, or only apps tier can talk to the database tier. So we are talking about, when we say apps tier, machines in this apps tier is one subnet, which is private subnet, whereas web server is a public subnet which users can hit. Sorry to interrupt, Aryan, over to you, back to you.
Yeah, so those are the just terminologies what we use interchangeably. But yes, so in the same cloud we'll have a subnet as well. So I didn't want to confuse you guys, so I did not use that word. But then yes, the meaning is that here the web servers can be accessible from the outside world, but the application server and the database server will not be able to access by the outside world, and you need a secured connection for it. And we also going to discuss one of the use cases of the Magento e-commerce website, and this is their architecture, wherein I'm just going to quickly walk through it. So as you can see, the network comes and hit an internet gateway through a load balancer, and from the load balancer it's going to hit the server, right? It's an active server wherein the servers are there, and it will receive the request. And it is also connected to as you can see, we have a Redis, which is a in-memory database for the caching environment, and we have a master DB which will store a main data, and we also have a standby DB if there is any disaster happens, right? And also we have a EFS mount target wherein all the application related data will be stored. So this is our Magento e-commerce website architecture is, and this is a very highly efficient and highly secure application. Now we're going to cover is that certification, why and what. So here, as you can
So
see,
one or two questions. Sorry, again, sorry to interrupt. There were a couple of other questions are coming. We'll pick it. One was VPC is same as VC and in OCI. Yes. So there's some technical questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick in a minute, and then Aryan is going to answer all your technical questions. There is one also career related questions are coming. A lot of questions are coming about the program, about Kubernetes as well. We're going to cover all this. So one question was, Tanvir is saying, are we going to cover migration of application and database from on-premise to AWS? Yes, we are going to cover. There's a lot more things are going to be covered. I'm going to pick up all of those as well. Next one, over to you. Sorry. Yeah, so let's do one thing. Let's pick up first about certification. So Aryan is going to pick up telling a brief about certification, and then I'll tell you about the program, and then we'll go to the Kubernetes and Docker, because there are a lot of questions coming from that as well. And we'll be try to answer as many questions as possible. Over to you, Aryan, over to you.
yeah. So as you can see in my screen, there are several certifications which are offered by AWS, and as you can see, we have a foundational, associate, and professional and specialty. So here, as you can see, the solution architect is the one which is highly in demand, and that is what we are also focusing on. But apart from that, we also have a developer associate, sysops administrator, and associate level. So for those of you who are beginners, so it is recommended for you to start with an associate level, and then pick it up from here, and then move on to a professional level. And then if you want to do any specialty, you can also pick up that specialty and do the certification as well. And coming to the for whom it is this particular certification is suited, for those of you who are looking into
sorry, Ravi, sorry, Aryan, can you go back to the previous slide one more time, Aryan? Sorry. Now there are a couple of questions I see developers. So those who are developer, you can either go for AWS certified developer, or I also highly recommend to look at Azure developer track, the second track, middle one. So Microsoft Azure also has a developer track certification called AZ204. If you're interested, reach out to my team and may ask about 204 by dropping an email to contact@k21academy.com. The reason why I'm talking about Azure developer is because Azure is quite big developer community, and they have both like Java as well as .NET and C and everything. Plus, they've just recently acquired GitHub, which is one of the biggest repositories in the world and big user bases. They also have Active Directory. So my suggestion to you would be either go for Azure developer track, Azure side, or also there is a certified Kubernetes application developer. Reach out to my team on contact@k21academy.com if you're a developer. If you are a developer and want to move into architect line, then stay on AWS certified track or solution architect track. Or if you are a tester, or you can do the solution architect as well for learning point of view. So as Aryan mentioned, that solution architect is you can do foundation, but why to spend time when you anyway are going to learn and pick up these things from solution architect? Things have moved on to solution architect. You can pick up a lot of on solution architect. So that's our recommendation to you. Over to you, Aryan. Thank you. Brilliant job. Next one, please.
Yeah, so the solution architect, right, as Atul told. So here in the solution architect course, you're gonna learn how to design and implement cloud solution in AWS, which requires like an IAM, identity access management, server configuration, networking, storage, database, and business applications. And with this particular knowledge, you will be able to build highly resilient and scalable infrastructure in the cloud, and it will also help you to translate your on-premises infrastructure to an AWS infrastructure, and also help you to build an application from the scratch on an AWS infrastructure. So this is what you're gonna learn in this particular course, and this is what we majorly cover in the solution architect course. And with respect to the examination, right, this is an AWS provided examination wherein this is the weightage of each of the categories. So they mainly have four categories. That is resilient architecture, wherein you can expect 30% of the course, and you have a high performance architecture, wherein you can have a 28% of the questions, and you also have a designing of a secure application and architectures. You will have a 24%, and designing and cost optimized architecture, you will have a 18%. So based on these categories, the questions will be divided, and that is what we are also going to cover. And with respect to examination, this is how your examination, and the passing score is 72%. And as you can see, you can also retake your examination after 14 days. And it's a multiple choice format, and it's a type is associate, and delivery method can be either online or proctored. So you can either choose the Pearson VU testing center, or you can also go for a Pearson VU proctored, wherein you can take the examination from your comfort of your home as well. So with regards to this particular course, we're gonna cover plethora of hands-on labs. So let me walk you through the hands-on labs. I'm just gonna walk you through them. So we're gonna cover starting from the basics, like signing up of a free tier account, exploring a management console, managing users, permissions, group policies with IAM, AWS billing and creating alerts, creating a S3 bucket, creating a website on S3 bucket, cross-region replication in S3, CloudFront, which is a content delivery network, creating a virtual machine, creating and managing an EBS volume and taking their backups, and launching a virtual machine with a custom AMI, wherein if you want to launch it with your own software configuration, how to do it, and creating your own custom VPC. When I say custom VPC, you want to have your own network architecture. So we'll also see how we can build a network architecture. We are also gonna use how to use a NAT gateway, and we have a concept called VPC pairing, wherein we see how both of the VPCs communicate with each other. We also have a Route 53 demo, wherein we'll see your own custom domain name, let's say K21academy.com. So if you want to use that domain name for your application, or any your own custom domain name, how to use that in AWS. And auto scaling groups, which is like you want to provision your servers automatically based on the demands. And load balancers, we have a couple of load balancers, like classic load balancer and network load balancer, wherein you want to distribute your traffic to the active servers, right? How do you do it? So we're going to cover that as well. Coming to the databases, we're going to cover relational database, that is RDS. We're going to cover non-relational database, that is DynamoDB. We're also going to cover in-memory database, that is Redis. And we're going to also cover the business analytics service, that is AWS Athena. And apart from that, we're also going to cover certain application services like simple email service, simple notification service, and simple queue service, right? And also we are also going to cover a serverless function, that is AWS Lambda. And we're also going to cover AWS Cloud Formation. I see some of the questions coming on Terraform. So in AWS, we're not going to use much of Terraform. We can do all those things in the Cloud Formation. And we also have a ops work with Chef. We can also do a demo on ops work with Chef. And we also have a platform as a service like Elastic Beanstalk, wherein you will see how you can just write a code and deploy it into the Elastic Beanstalk, and Elastic Beanstalk will run your application without you configure any infrastructure. And last but not the least, we are going to cover CloudTrail as well, which helps you to track all the activities which is happening in the AWS account. So apart from this, we are also going to cover
hold on. So someone was saying, dude, does all this come in the certification? Not everything come in the certification. These are some of these we think are good for the job. So we go above and beyond the certification on that, and that's why you see a lot of hands-on, because we think that you're going to learn by doing the job. Of course, we're going to teach you theory, but this is what you should be learning in a practical if you really want a good job, and not just good job, but also on a higher paid job. Sorry to interrupt, because I saw some questions were asking and someone saying, oh, you don't need to learn all this for certification. Yes, not that much, but we're going to teach certification anyway, but we're going to teach more than that. Over to you.
Sure. To answer to that, right? So the questions on the AWS Solution Architect examination will be on the scenario based, and that scenario might cover the couple of services or couple of a demo of this. So that is the reason we are going up and down on the labs and the practical session. And apart from this, we are going to also cover the architectural designs also. So during the course, we are going to cover several pillars of the AWS well architected framework, and we'll also analyze with respect to each of the framework how the architecture should be designed, so that you as a solution architect with respect to AWS, you know what are these frameworks and you know how to achieve this framework in your architect. Because just creating an architecture is not a big deal, but then when you create an architecture, it has to be with aligned to an AWS well architected framework. And that is what we're going to cover. And also we're going to cover the various use cases wherein several companies, how did they adopt AWS and what are the services they are using. So apart from all this theory and practicals, we're going to cover the architectural designs as well, and we also cover the use cases discussion as well. So I think that is pretty much from my end. I think I should
How
be
was it?
handing
Like,
over
I'm going to
to.
pick a few more things as well, but guys, give me thumb and tell me how was it. Guys, give me and say if you have to rate it 1 to 5, 5 being the best. How was Aryan doing? Because we have still a lot to come. We have to cover EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service, and Docker Kubernetes, and EKS 5, 5, 5, please, pretty much 5. Anyone? There's 1 or 2, 4 is would love to hear why 4, but wonderful, excellent. I would say 5. Thank you, Freddie, Nishant, Monica. Magesco, go wonderful. Well done, guys. Well done. Let me pick it from here and let me continue and see if I can do better job than Aryan. Onus than me and see. Let's say I can beat you now, Aryan. Hold on. Share my make me presenter. Hold on. Make myself
Sure.
presenter. So I'm going
Thank
to
you,
do
guys. Thank
something
you so
about
much.
Docker and Kubernetes and as well. But before that, a lot of you guys are asking about the program as well, and then we'll talk the program, and then we'll talk about something a little bit more as well. The Docker Kubernetes. Someone is asking about the fees. So Aryan, if you can go and answer all the questions, and if take my help from Yamni as well on some things which you are not familiar with respect to the program as well. Okay, so just to do a quick recap on the learning path, this is what Amazon suggests. This is the 4 modules they say these are the things they should be doing. But I think you need to go a little bit more deep into that. And hence, we designed it as step-by-step framework where we go complete from beginners, keeping introduction to AWS, security, where we go identity and access management, users, groups, object storage, compute, networking, and then route 53, and which is networking, load balancers, database services, migration, messaging, or how do you design your architect properly, well-designed architect, case studies, project work, and a lot more. And then you write a certification. We give you the sample exam questions to prepare, and then you write the exam. So that's way you're not only preparing for the exam, but also for job, and not just normal job, but higher paid job. So uh, there are a lot of job opportunities, as I said at the start, and the earning is limitless. And I'm going to show you my earning before I left the complete IT world, and I started doing. I think I can help a lot of others as well. So uh, so there's a lot of scope for you to grow, and with new and new services coming, as you keep learning new and new things, you will keep earning more and more as well. So these are some of the job opportunities in US, India, Europe, UK, or Middle East, as well as Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, wherever you are, there are plenty of job opportunities, as I said. But you need to make sure you write your CV well. And a lot of guys say, oh, I've done the certification, but I haven't got a job, because couple of things: you have not done your CV properly, because you have not written it CV properly, or not highlighted the key areas which employer is looking for, not highlighted the CV, your certifications, key points which employer is looking for. And if you do what we tell us you to do, you can definitely get success and a result. And it's being proven again and again by a lot of our users or audiences as well. So in the program, we also prepare your CV. We will help you with the CV preparation, how to write a good CV. We'll also help you with interview questions or what to expect in the interview, how to say if you have a gap, or if you're a fresher, if you're new to AWS. Because If I'm an employer, I'll be nervous if you tell me that, oh, you're new to AWS. But how you can give that employer confidence without lying or hiding anything, to by showing these work that you have done. That's how the confidence comes. So you definitely get success if you get certified. But the obvious question is, how do I learn all this quickly and effectively? Because key things are maturing pretty quickly, and lot new services are coming. So how do I learn all this quickly and effectively? And this is where I propose this program, which I said there are only 50 seats, because we do a lot of work, because we do a lot of personal touch points, and it's very difficult and challenging to help on one-on-one basis. Though you're going to learn on a group, but then even those 50 sounds is quite a lot number for, because we individually work and help you with in doing labs, these labs which we call 30 labs. Of course, we're going to teach theory. Today, we are going a little bit fast because we had a lot to cover. So we are going to go deep into, and right now today we were unable to ask questions in the audio form. Today you were only asking to the chat, but on the live program, you'll be having interactive session. So it'll be live interactive. The most important part is exam preparation, and the biggest is on-job support. So we provide 1 year on-job support. So not only you will get the certification, you will work, you will get the job, and then we'll help you in getting the job as well as on-job support for next 1 year. So why a lot of guys say, hey, there are a lot of companies who are teaching, what makes you different? So free on-job support for next 1 year, meaning if you hit a problem while doing a job, our team will be there. So earlier someone was saying, how do you support such a big, because it's a big ask. Absolutely, it's a big ask. And that's why we have grown quickly from 21 guys at last year to 37. Then now we are on 52 guys, and maybe we're going, the support team will be helping and supporting you. Unlimited retake for the course for 1 year, which means cloud keeps changing, new things come. We constantly update our program. So you come and for this batch, and then next batch, when we launch again next batch, you can come and take this program again for the next batch, because new things come. Or you only learn 60-70%, you can come back again. There'll be weekly live interactive session. So there'll be everything will be available on the portal, but on top of that, there'll be live interactive session. So today you were not able to ask question via the audio because we have a big group. But on that day, there'll be smaller group. So you'll be asking interactive questions. There'll be videos, activity guide, labs to learn at your own pace. Now, WhatsApp and ticketing system. There'll be post-session recording for lifetime access. So you will have the program for lifetime. You'll get support for 1 year and unlimited retake for the program, but lifetime access to that course on the membership portal. There'll be hands-on labs with step-by-step activity guide. So we'll go on all 30 guides in detail. You're going to work with us on those guides, and we're making sure that you do all those labs. And program is focused on two things: job and certification. The most important thing, not only certification, you will get certification without a doubt, but the job as well, the most important part. So you'll get all this. Now, even if you're not looking for a job, we'll make sure that you get at least 25, 30, 40% hike on the job, and not immediately, but maybe within few months. Once you do the program, you do your first job, and the second job is where you should be demanding that and recovering your investment or growing and learning and earning a lot more. So this is what makes us different from others. So then again, you need all three. You need theory, you need practical, you need exam questions. You can't have just you can't miss one, not even one. You have to have all three, and we cover all three here. So this is how the portal look like on the program. So this is 11 modules, 100 plus lessons, 30 plus labs, exam preparation, and on-job support. And now, if you need more labs, though 30 should be more than enough, but we always encourage more. So if you're doing something on your customer premises and you need more of those labs, or something which is you don't find or want to go deep, more than happy to do. Because when you do that lab, we'll share with others, and others will be then benefiting for that. So we're always up for doing more. So more than happy to add more if you want. Now, this is how the portal look like. There'll be presentation, there'll be activity guide, and we'll be uploading the videos as well here. Now, end of each module, there'll be quiz that you probably with respect to that module. So you'll be picking up the questions from the exam and see what kind of questions to earn or understand in the exam, or whatever you've learned, have you learned it good enough? Can you answer these questions now or not? So you'll be getting that as well. So schedule, we are going to run every Saturday and Sunday. It will be 4 hours session, so that you can do 4 hours, and then remaining time you can spend with family, and then come back. During the weekdays, you'll be doing the labs. My team will be there. You'll be in a WhatsApp group, so you can ask questions. Any point in time you need help, we have a ticketing system and WhatsApp group as well. So you have 4 hours Saturday, Sunday. So to recap, you have 1 year on-job support absolutely free, unlimited retake for the next 1 year. Then you have live interactive session on a weekly basis, Saturday, Sunday, lifetime access to these videos, hands-on activity guide. There'll be WhatsApp group. So WhatsApp is an app. I hope everyone is using that. We use that actively, and private 24/7 WhatsApp group. So this is how the WhatsApp group will look like, the support. So someone is saying, oh, wow, wonderful, well done. Like basically we encourage everyone on, and we invite everyone to post their questions, share the little wins, because when you win, then you share with others and they will also do the work. So someone here, I would like to thank K21 Academy and for organizing such a wonderful and informative session. So like feedback, constant loop back feedbacks. We also have a ticketing system. So you can take, send a email to an email ID, and that will have a ticket number like that. So we have 5,000 plus paid members. We have 80,000 subscribers, 80,000 plus subscribers, 5,000 paid members, and we're growing rapidly. For one reason, and simple one reason, we provide result. We give not only clear certification, but also job or help you in job preparation. So we give result, and that's why people keep coming back again and again. So 5,000 plus paid members. And this is what some of our students say. I attended my interview from 3 different companies. First company interview was a flop, but second and third company interview went well. I'm excited, expecting an offer letter from both the companies by end of this week. Nobody can fault the material and facilities provided by your team. Keep it up. I'm absolutely sure no other academy can provide such a package, which is totally worth it. So these are actual guys in the program which are sharing. These are screenshots from the WhatsApp group. So now, same thing, I can keep go on and on and on. So this is what some of our students say. Once a lot, if appreciation to or you all and team are doing. Most important, the prompt reactions to our problems. It's 2 a.m. and I'm having answers to my worries and questions. So this is like, and like that we ask for you to rate today. We ask every session in our program as well, rate us 1 to 5, 5, 5, 5. And wherever we don't meet 5, we ask and improve on getting 5. Our obsession with perfection, obsession with being the best in industry is what we have made us. And this is not me saying, this is like, probably you go to our website, you get hundreds of testimonials, real guys, real LinkedIn profiles. So this is some of our students have achieved different certificates or jobs as different. This is again to inspire you and to see what's possible. AWS, Azure, Oracle, different type of cloud certificates. Now, the most important question comes is, hey, what is how much is the program cost, or what is the value of the course? And this is one of the most difficult part for me to reach out. We searched and searched and searched, and we got all sort of numbers for the program cost of the course. And we looked at in the market how much others are charging for something who are sensible, something who are good. And we found out in the market who are providing live interactive sessions, because you learn from live interactive, because otherwise there are a lot of material available in the market. People start and then don't finish it. So this is where live interactive will help. So we looked into the market, the price of that probably around $2,000 or pounds, and without VAT. And I said, no, it can't be possible. It's too much. So can't be possible. So we started looking for a lot, and the cheapest we found, which is good, sensible, was 699 pounds plus VAT, which is close to 900 pounds, which is close to equivalent to $1,200, $1,300. Still higher. So what we looked at and we said, what should we do? And because a lot of our audience come from India, or guys who move from India to US or UK or in Singapore and other places. So we also wanted to make the price very competitive. So what we are investing us with today is $599. And whatever we mention, all the labs, activity guide and everything, that's what we initially anticipated when we were launching this course. And guess what? COVID hit. And we're saying, oh, what should we do to make it interesting and better? Because people are struggling to afford these things these days, especially education. And we don't want anyone to suffer because of that, but at the same time, provide value, because it takes a lot of effort to provide support. It takes a lot of effort to keep material up to date. It takes a lot of effort to have the quality training. So what we thought was, what should be the ideal way? So what we are paying today is $399. So $399 for AWS certified, for 1 year on job support. So just if forget about programs, forget about everything. If you just look for the for the support itself, it's close to $1 a day. That's it. And on top of that, you're getting someone to help you all the time. We are also getting 1 year on job support. You're also getting 30 plus labs. You're also getting exam preparation. So, and the most important part is cloud keeps changing. So anything new comes, you are getting that absolutely free. You can come back again for the course again. So if interested, go to this URL, k21academy.com/AWS SA03. Now, as I said, this will be only for 50 seats, and after that, we'll be closing this. So 50 seats only, and we'll be starting with, you will get immediate access to the labs and other things on, and it will be for live interactive program. So if you're interested, let my team know. Sorry, if you go to this page, k21academy.com/AWS SA03, scroll down. So if you're paying for monthly, there are two options you have. You can do a single payment or you can do monthly payment. So this was the price, original price, $599 per month. Sorry, not per month, $599 for the entire program for next 1 year, and you have lifetime access to the course. Or 5 monthly installment of $149. So you pay $149 now and over five times, like over, like in total 5 months. So after COVID, now we're doing it for $99 per month, only for 5 months. So you pay of $99 for 5 months, or you pay one single payment of $399. So if you can afford, my suggestion to you would be go with one single payment of $399. If you can't afford, go to the left hand side, $99 for 5 months. Now, if you're going to the page, scroll down somewhere in the middle, and you will see two options. Pick up left and one if you're going for $99 5 months payment. If you're going for single payment, pick up $399. If you can, as I said, I repeat one more time, a lot of guys say, what is difference? No difference. You get everything same. The only difference you will be is that you pay slightly more on the left hand side, most flexible, but you have 5 months to pay that. If you can't afford, better would be go for 99 5 months. If you can afford, go for single payment. Now, when you scroll down, when you click on select enroll now, you will coupon code AWS 200 should already be applied for you automatically. We have done it because we were planning to give that, so we already applied $200 off. So you enter your first name, last name, email address, and phone number, and scroll down further, and you will see you can pay either by the credit card or a debit card. So you can do either of credit or debit. You can also pay from PayPal. And scroll down in the bottom, you say I agree to terms and conditions, enter your card details on, and you will see a single payment of $399. Coupon code 200 should already be applied. If you're hitting any problem, reach out to my team is of like helping you guys. Or left hand side, single payment, if you picked, you will be picking up $99 and then 4 more months. So after 30 days, 99, after that 30 days, 99, and so on, like total 5 payments. So make sure you click on I agree to terms and conditions, and then immediately within 15 minutes, you'll get an email with your login details. So you will have access to the membership portal. You will get an email saying your order is confirmed, and you will have access to WhatsApp group. This WhatsApp group, I was saying that we provide support. So you'll be getting that WhatsApp group link on the email. So and then join this WhatsApp group. Also, you will have access to the username password on the portal for here. So enter your username, email address, and you can log in and start learning immediately. Now in the program, you will have two things like this. Left hand side is where you will be all the live sessions like today, and any future session we happen that will be uploaded on this live session portal for you. All the material, which is like the video, the lab activity guide, or the presentation, or the quizzes, that will be on the right hand side here. And anything changes, that will be updated here on the membership portal. Now, everything, all of this comes with 100% money back guarantee. I know there are a lot of guys who probably might be nervous, who are coming first time. If you are out of those 5,000 plus members, you already know how we are. And I can already see some payments for those. And I'm assuming you're already a member. Good job, Sandhya. Welcome to the program. There are a couple of Sandhya. I'm not sure if you're part of in past, but Jane Thomas, I can see you. So welcome to the program. So some of you guys who already know us, so which is fine. But some guys are new to us and they are nervous that, oh, whether Atul speaking a lot, but does he really mean that? Is there actually the guys who have got value? Is it going to work for me? And hence we want to clear all that objection. So you have 60 days, 100% money back guarantee. Now, a lot of guys come later, but I want to read it very clearly one more time to you here, or one time, first time, and I'm going to repeat one more time. The For you, in order to get the result, you need to do the work. So if you're ready to do the work of those 30 guides, as long as you do those 30 guides, and if you don't get a result, or if you think the value, it was not valuable, it was not worth what I'm saying, or if you think that, oh, you have not got value, or is it not for you, as long as you do those 30 guides, send us a screenshot that, oh, you don't think it's valuable, we'll refund you the full money. So you have 60 days for that, and our money back guarantee is very clearly written, k21academy.com/refund policy. So I want to reiterate one more time. You can cancel it within next 60 days, provided you send us a screenshot that you did the lab. And I hope that makes sense, and that gives you guarantee how good the program is. We firmly stand behind that. I know it's going to work if you do the work. So there's some part on your part to do, and rest leave on my team to do that. So it's 100% money back guarantee. Now, also, so those of you guys already registered, you get the free gift, and you've already going to receive that. Process might be a little bit manual for now, I'll tell you, but some of you guys have already paid. Congratulations to William, Nishant, Shamir, and few other guys. I'm going to take all of your names, but if you're hitting problems, let me know. I'll take a sip of water, but I'll want to reiterate about some free gift, which is very interesting. And that free gift will be only while we are in the live here in the session. So at the start, I said that those who stay till end and have something interesting coming for you, but while we are on the live. So this is why I said earlier as well that everything is moving towards cloud. So things are moving from DevOps to process wise DevOps, and we are living in a world where architecture of application is microservices, and these microservices run on containers, and containers are managed by Kubernetes, and Kubernetes then you can deploy on premise or as well as cloud. So this is all the context I said. But what I mean by microservices or monolithic application, very quickly, in olden days, or still now, there are a lot of applications, every functionality is bundled into one big app, and suddenly you have a big app. Changing that app, if I want to modify something, if I want to apply new patches, or maybe I want to scale it up, I want to scale it up on that size. So I want to run 10 copies of that, I need 10 big servers. If I want to modify something, that becomes quite challenging. I need probably 3, 4, 6 weeks and 8 weeks of testing window, and hence I break it down into smaller services. So each functionality will be a microservice running on its own, or maybe further broken down. So passenger management, this is an image from, for example, Uber or Ola if you're from India, Uber from, or Lyft from US. So each functionality is divided to microservice, and each of these microservices run its own containers. Now, I only need to change things around this. I need to test things around passenger web UI. If I'm changing payment, I'll be testing around whatever interface is just around payment. I don't need to touch all of this. So, and if I want to scale up, I only scale up payment. If payment is payment is load on payment, I'll increase the payment auto scaling. On all this, I can do through microservices. So these microservices will be running on containers. Now, technically, you can run the same small application on a virtual machine, but it's time consuming. It takes 3-4 minutes to boot up a virtual machine. It takes a lot of resources in terms of memory and CPU just to start the operating system itself. So it's time consuming. And then came Docker in 2015 that changed the whole world, how we run our applications. So Docker and containers are used interchangeably. So now these same applications which used to be running on earlier virtual machines now run on containers. So these microservices now run on container, each microservice running its own container. So the boot up time is quick. The time it takes probably a second or just a second or 1 or 2 seconds to start up a container. It takes maybe a couple of MBs to run an application. The storage is quite lean and thin. It only uses what it is required. So the underlying and scaling it up becomes very, very easy. So then suddenly you saw plethora of containers, maybe 100, 200 containers running of same big application broken down to a smaller application, managed by multiple servers. And hence, the orchestration of these containers came into picture. You need someone to start and stop, manage, auto scale, fix the problems. And that's when the Docker Kubernetes or this Kubernetes came into picture. So there are other orchestrations like Mesos, Kubernetes, Docker Swarm, but Kubernetes has the biggest market. 72% market is captured by Kubernetes, and it's going to grow only. So you need a container engine, and hence the birth of Docker and Kubernetes. These are both open source, managed by Cloud Native Computing Foundation, CNCF. So what's happening is that now suddenly everyone started implementing. If you see any cloud vendor, whether it's AWS, Azure, Oracle, Google, DigitalOcean, Alibaba, anything, they all are implementing Kubernetes now. Same Kubernetes open source, but in cloud, because of the pace at which things have picked up. So in AWS, you implement what I used to be container. I said you run microservices, containers, or a Docker, same thing, ECS, which you see on left. Kubernetes, I said, will running on middle EKS. So EKS comes with its own container runtime. So you can either run ECS or you run EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service, or something you don't even want to manage your own containers or Kubernetes, and you run Fargate. So these are three options you have. It's a serverless containers basically is Fargate. So these are the three options available on AWS. Same Kubernetes and Docker, but in AWS world. So these are the three different options you have available for running Docker and Kubernetes on AWS cloud. Now, most of these implementations right now are happening on ECS, but companies are moving towards EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. Elastic Kubernetes Service is taking over because it's easy to scale up, manage, and a lot of on-premise implementations. This is a proprietary to AWS, and companies don't like proprietary things, and hence EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service, which is like similar to open source. You can migrate your on-premise Kubernetes applications onto EKS, and then there's a serverless. So similar to what you have Kubernetes architecture, same architecture where you have a master node, which is managing all these multiple app servers. So you still have the servers, but this, instead of running application on the server or virtual machines, you run something called as container runtime. On that container runtime, you run multiple instances, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 copies of containers, 30 containers on same machine. So all these are called as worker node, and these worker nodes are managed from the master node. And hence, if you look at AWS, you have a Kubernetes, you have a top one is a one network. You have one network, which is your master node, and master node is managed by AWS itself. We call managed Kubernetes control plane. And all your applications are running. These are multiple machines, and these multiple machines are called as worker node, and worker nodes are managed. You are going to manage these worker nodes through this control plane that you're going to define and create. And you define one network for control plane and one network for all your worker nodes. Each worker node will be running multiple applications, multiple containers exposed by the load balancer. And this is where industry is moving. So when people said, I can learn AWS, yes, you will learn AWS, and you can still get a lot of jobs in AWS, but industry is moving towards Kubernetes cloud native. That's what called as cloud native. That's what when people say running my containers, microservices. Am I making sense, guys? Tell me, am I making sense or not? And I'm going to tell you something interesting. The whole point was to give you the context of that. Put in the chat window and say, am I making sense? Yes, Ajay saying yes, yes. Polami, Jen Thomas, yes. Okay. So this is what you'll be doing and managing this right-hand side on AWS Kubernetes cluster. And hence, the typical workflow is you provision a EKS cluster on cloud on AWS. You deploy the worker node. You connect to the EKS cluster. You deploy the applications onto this Kubernetes cluster, run applications, and then expose these applications to the world, like Netflix. You might be using our Pokemon Go. You might have seen application running Pokemon or Netflix or Uber. All these applications run behind the scene Kubernetes. It's an open source donated by Google to the entire world, and now everyone is implementing this Kubernetes. So what all labs you should be doing? You should be deploying Kubernetes with EKS cluster, VPS, creating VPC, EKS roles, clusters. We looked at identity and access management earlier. You launch the worker node. You deploy the application on something called as pods, configure a CLI, deploy application, and deploy your microservices on Fargate as well. So these are the labs which we recommend you to do, and we are going to cover that in the program. So we said about there are a lot of job opportunities. And this is, you see that if you really want that 180,000 dollar job, or maybe 20, 25, 30, 40 lakh job, is because you know not only just AWS but Kubernetes or Docker with that. So you see a lot of job opportunities even for just 1 year. Can you believe when people say, "Oh, I don't, do I have a job?" Or I just have 1 year experience, or I don't have an experience. If you know, if you learn all this, you're going to get a job for sure, even if you're a fresher. I can guarantee you. And if you don't get, if you're in India, I'm hiring, I can hire you as well. So the power, you will understand the confidence and importance. So we have a separate program. We can directly buy this if you want to. I don't want you to buy right now because I'm going to give you absolutely free if you decide to join the program, and you're going to get this program now absolutely free. Those who have already paid, you will get it already. So those who are paid in full payment, you will get it immediately. Those who have paid it immediately, I mean within next 24 hours. Those who are paying an installment, once all your installment are done, you'll get this course absolutely free, but only while you're in the webinar or while you're in the class. So Kubernetes on AWS, EKS, whatever labs we covered here, you're going to do those labs as well. So my programs are never just theory. We do a lot of hands-on. I learn from hands-on. I'm a hands-on person. I do a lot of architect roles, but I do go low level on actual implementation, doing those things. So all these are lab. So you get absolutely free. If you're interested, go to the same URL that you were earlier, k21academy.com/AWS-SA03. I'll be taking some questions, 1 or 2 questions. So you have everything you're going to get, as I said, AWS certification, certification preparation, 30 plus labs, Kubernetes, five of these Kubernetes labs. So Kubernetes on AWS. So I want to be clear. This is AWS Kubernetes. How do you deploy and run Kubernetes on AWS? You're going to get that absolutely free as part of this. You can either go for one single payment of $399, or you can go for 599 payments. Now I'm going to take 1 or 2 questions before that, but I know some of you guys say, "Oh, it's expensive." And if you are one of them, if you still think it's expensive, it is. Then I can understand your situation, because I was at that point back in 2005, and some of you guys have already heard me this. But let me reiterate one more time. As I said, if you have heard it and if it's still not a part of the program, then you need to hear this. And this is my story in numbers. And again, this is not to show off or to brag. And I'm not the only one who's earning. And this is 40,000 per month, not 4,000 per month. It's 40,000. So without, some guys laugh and say, "Is it, you have added extra zero?" No, it's real numbers. And I'm going to show you as well. You can achieve that as well. I'm not saying you can do it from day one. I did not achieve it in day one, but I started my journey back in India with 2000 in year 2000 with just $98 per month. 8,000 rupees was my first salary take home, and I struggled for first 4 or 5 years in my career. And something changed in 2005. I moved to early 2000 and 2004, and I moved to UK. In UK via a company called Satyam. I was working for Imperial College London back in 2005, early five, initially via a company called Satyam, which is no more now. I think there was a problem and they closed down. And I was working, and suddenly I saw a contract. I was working as an apps DB, and I saw a contract of I think £450 a day. It was approximately around May, and I said, "Oh wow, 450 a day, 20 days 22 days a month." Forget about 20 days a month, because you get paid as a freelancer or a contractor only for the days you work. £9,000 a day, and where I was earning £2,400 a day, so almost more than triple of my salary. So I said, "Oh, let me try that." And I knew that I don't know much. It was an identity and access management role. So with apps DB, e-business suite, what I was doing. So I thought, "Oh, I can try that." And I tried, I didn't succeed, and I knew what was wrong, because I was not having enough knowledge. So I tried looking into the course, and I looked into Oracle website, and Oracle website course at that time was £3,000. And I think I've just checked last week only for one of the sessions, and still probably around £3,100 or something like that. So I said, "No, I can't afford it. Too expensive. 2,400 my salary. It's more than my month's salary. I can't afford it." So I said, "Oh, I can learn on my own." And like, I come from India, and we are pretty tight on money, and we think, "Oh, we can do on our own." And I tried learning. I used to learn 2 hours, 3 hours every day in the evening. Month passed, 2 months passed, 3 months passed. I gave 1 hour interview after another interview, 450 pound, 500 pound, all type of contract. Come October, without with still doing the same job, 2,400 pounds. And I was thinking, I was out with my wife on her birthday, and my wife said, "Oh," and I was still thinking about I need to finish my studies because I need to get this job because I was hooked for that role because it was quite fascinating. So how can someone earn 10,000 pounds in a month? It was quite unbelievable at that time to me at that time. So then my wife said, enough is enough. You've spent so much hours, weekends, days, weekends. Let's do a course and do this course and see what happens. Did the course, and trust me, no looking back. And this is serious genuine thing. As within probably 2 weeks I got a job. Not only that job, since then I've done 450 to 500, 600, 700, 800, 1200. 1200 is the last which I could go max 1200 pounds a day. 1200 pounds a day multiplied by 22 days, 22 hours, and I started getting a lot of side gigs as well with that. So did I get it one day? No. So then next year I started looking and said how foolish I was, that in order to save 3,000 pounds, I lost 72,000 pounds. So imagine 9,000 pounds for 8 months I did not earn. 9,000 pounds multiplied by 8 months is 72,000 pounds. 72,000 pounds I didn't earn or lost just to save how much? 3,000 pounds. And that was the turning point for my life. I said, no, I'm not going to be that stupid anymore now. And since then, every couple of years, I've learned, I give a lot of money to Oracle. I've, I've worked with some of the guys who were pretty expensive because they were not a trainer, but they were working. And I said, I want to learn from you. You tell me how much you're going to cost, how much it cost. I'm going to give you that money because I was started earning by the time then on the contracting money. But even though I was not earning, it's just in the mindset. And I started looking and said, no, I can quickly learn. So whenever I have to now look at and learning something new, I only look when I say cost, I only look at and say how much money I'm going to earn by doing this, or how much money I'm going to lose by not doing it. If I say it's going to recover, am I going to recover that cost quickly? Yes or no. In next 3 months, 6 months, yes or no. And if the minute I do that, I'm going to do that. So this was another turning point last year when I was starting my company, and I came to a very good, but I was not growing last year. So I started 2015, 16, 17, 19, and I was not growing. I was doing some side gig and I was doing some freelancing work at the parallel building my company, and I was part of a mastermind. Oh, sorry, not part. I was offered a seat in mastermind, and they were charging 30,000. Initially, when I started, 24,000 pounds, $24,000 for a US mastermind. It's 25 guys. They only do one session per month, and I thought, should I do it? It's pretty expensive, 24,000 a year. Should I do it or not do it, mastermind? And I thought for a week, and then same idea clicked to my mind and say, I'm not going to repeat the same mistake which I did in 2005. And I did that, and this year has been transformational for me. Like the kind of, even though I joined 1 hour, but it's pretty intense, and I learn a lot from others in that group. And I'm not telling this all this to actually brag or show off or look how I'm earning. I'm not the only person who's earning. There are a lot of guys who earn a lot more than me, but I'm telling you the change your mindset. If you think that you can't afford, if you think that, oh, it's expensive, if you think, oh, it's not, either it's not for you, then it's fine. If you don't, if it's not for interest, that's fine. But if you think that you can't afford, that's a question I want you to think again on that. So don't be stupid like me, who lost 72,000. And sometimes I laugh at a point. I'm not lost, but I wish I could have earned a 70,000 more in 2005 by doing that, spending the 3,000 pounds. So I know I've said it, I've taken a lot more, but it takes some time to grasp that. The minute you get it, the minute people get it, they get the result. And not only this, of course you have to do work, and I did the work, but then I see the result as well. Now I earn a lot less than I used to be 2 years or 3 years ago, but I earn a lot, triple, 2 to 3, 4 times more than what I used to do 3, 4 years by doing less. So it's not just me. Again, I'm not saying, oh, I'm the only one guru here. A lot of guys are doing that. So again, this is some of our students who are part of the program or have gone through other programs. And this is Pablo. And this is a couple of years back, Pablo. When I started, I think 2 years back, Pablo was like among and he's very young and based in India. I have a strong reservation about price. Took a leap of faith. Took and the course and what's worth every being charged. Looking back, I wonder why I didn't take the decision earlier. Learned so much quicker since then. Since then, he's enrolled for 4 courses. Now, every time we do the course, we look at these things and ask for the feedback. Was it value for money? We always introspect our prices. As I said, is we launched with a higher price, but because of COVID, we've changed the price because we think that's the ideal one now. Everyone can afford, and we grow together. So, oh, I like K21 Academy. What we are getting and we pay is good, unlike that. Now, another question is keep coming, guys. If you're hitting, some of guys are mentioning they're hitting the problem. So reach out to my team, and my team will be there to help you. Now, some of you guys said I can learn on my own, and if you are one of them, if I can learn on my own, some guys are might be saying, oh, I can learn it from Udemy, or there's a course available on probably $10 or a absolutely free on Udemy. Is it working for you? Did it work for you? And if it's working, and if you manage to get the certification, I'm not saying not everyone can do it, but it takes a lot of effort. And trust me, I have probably more than 100 courses myself. I bought every course possible for my team. I have a team of 52 guys now. I bought every possible course available on the internet on my Udemy. If you look at my Udemy, it'll be full of, or my other programs, it's full of courses, and not even a single course has done more than 30%. Trust me, not even a single course have done more than 30%. So I started looking, is it my team fault? Is it my team does is not inspired, or have I hired a right guy, or have I done? Because I'm pretty action taker, and I try to do Udemy, and I thought, oh, when I'm stuck on the program, if I don't get an answer, and this is where I realize the problem, what's happening is everyone is inspired. They go with a big thinking, I'm going to do that. And the minute they hit any problem, there's no one to ask questions, or there's no one to say, oh, I'm doing right or wrong, or what to do. And that's where people get stuck. So I looked into Google and said, what is the completion rate? And you'll be surprised to hear that only 30% who enroll, only 30% even open it. People buy it and leave it there. Forget about doing the course fully. The percentage of completion of courses which are available on self-learning mode is not good. And that's why we used to do the self-learning, but we still provide self-learning, but we have added interactive model now, because this is where you learn, this is where you see the result. So if you're saying that, oh, I can learn my own, and if it's working, good. It didn't work for me. It didn't work for majority of the students that we see and come across. So yes, you can learn your own. I tried that myself. Complicated, confusing, stressful, so many things to learn. Don't know whether I'm learning is correct or not. Things are outdated. There's a lot of information outdated. So much overwhelming, so much things. And you don't need to trust me. You don't need to do too much. You just need to be doing focused on what employer looking, where the industry is moving. There's no point in doing outdated content when you should be working on things like Kubernetes, Docker, or cloud native applications, or things that are going to earn you a lot of money. So yes, you can learn on your own. Complicated, confusing, stressful, or you can learn from experts, simple, strategic, some who have already gone through before you, or going through and helping and getting back that feedback loops on what employers are looking for. And you don't want just certification. Certification is just one part of tick box of that. Certification is for you to put your CV being selected. The real journey begins is actual getting a job, clearing the interview. I hope you're making sense, and that is when you get it, when you do the work or do the labs. Now, a lot of guys say, "Hey, I don't have time." Again, I know I've taken a lot of your time, but I want to be quick. But a lot of questions are coming, and I think Aryan is answering questions behind the scene. Um, uh, Probably say one more thing. Um, okay, a lot of questions are coming. My team is answering them. How much per day is required for this course? I've already answered 4 hours. Simran, we have corrected it 4 hours instead of 3 hours. So 4 hours on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and probably 1 or 2 hours on the weekday. If for some reason, if you are unable to attend, there'll be recording available for you on the portal for you. So I know that a lot of you guys say, hey, I don't have time. I'm busy. Or I have family, I have project work. And trust me, we all have same 24 hours. We all are busy, and it's more critical for those busy guys who think someone who's young, they can still will survive. But someone who has more than 6 years, 6 to 16 or 6 to 20 years, anyone who is more than 6 years, when you start going to the middle management or senior management, that's where the biggest trouble starts. Because I remember 2010, after earning so much money, I was a little bit nervous for a moment in 2010 because I was doing good, and I was come a point where I said, "Oh, am I doing good? Or what more I should be doing?" And I was thinking I'm busy because I started writing a book, and I was busy writing a book, so I didn't learn anything apart from what I was doing, which is writing the book. And I was a little bit nervous. So and then I started saying, "Hey, I don't have a time." So we need to find time for things which are important for you, and hence we have portal which is self-learning available, so you can watch the video. So for some reason, for this weekend, I need to go out. Fine, watch the recording later in the evening, or I'm going for a walk. I'll listen to the recording and come back. Accountability is where you are on WhatsApp. We'll be asking you, hey, did you watch the video or did you attend that video? No, I couldn't because of so and so. Fine, watch it again now and tell us. Or maybe this week I couldn't and I can do this in the next batch or this week. So I can learn at your own pace, Celestack. So I hop on and hop off to the live session as and when I find time. So I commute a lot, may not be commuting right now, but still when you go to gym or doing exercises, you can learn. Yeah. So this is if you don't have time again. Now, as I said, it's all covered by 100% money back guarantee. And I firmly stand behind this. I want to reiterate one more time is saying you need to show us that you did work. Because if you join the class and if you say, I'm going to get a result without doing, no, it's not a what you call get rich quick. No, there's no such thing like get rich quick. I didn't get rich quick, or I don't even call myself rich. I call myself free because I don't have to worry about money now. I work a lot less too than what I used to be. And that's where my freedom comes. That's where I said, oh, I'm no more busy. I can focus my time and energy into things which I want to do. But you need to be good in what you're doing. And that good is by doing the task. So as long as you do the task, do all the 30 laps, send us a screenshot that you did and you didn't get a result, or you think it's not valuable, we'll refund you money and you get all this absolutely free on us. So this refund policy will ask for just a screenshot of labs, and you can do it, give it from the cloud. Now, some of the frequently asked questions: time 4 hours in the morning, 7:30 to 11:30 a.m. PST US hours, 10:30 to 2:30 EST, 3:30 to 7:30 UK time, and 8 to 12 in the evening on India timing. Now, if for some reason if you miss a session, don't worry, everything will be recorded. You can come back again to the program again and again. We provide guarantee as well, 100% money back guarantee. We ask you for the documents or the labs, screenshot of the labs. How will I practice? We'll give you the free account for practice. If you some reason, excuse me, if for some reason if account is no more available, you can come back or you can create another account. So you'll have full access. How long does it take? Probably we'll say 8 weeks is an ideal thing we would recommend. 7 to 8 weeks. Some guys have done it in 4 weeks as well. So I leave it to you. 4 weeks you can do it. 8 to 10 sessions should be enough, but again, we never count number of hours. We can't never count number of days, because for us we need to support you for 1 year. So but again, go with your own pace. If you're a slow learner, take your own time. So you are running race with yourself. You're not running and competing with someone else. You are improving yourself constantly, and that's what I believe in. And whatever success I've received is because I want to be better version of myself from the previous day or previous year. So you have unlimited retake of the program. You can come back again and again for the next 1 year. Now, I want to say in just 10 years, both cameraman and pilot were replaced. And trust me, that can happen if you don't upgrade yourself. If you think your job is safe or no one can do, you have some of the very big examples which are in the industry. You might have heard of Blockbuster being replaced completely by Netflix. The big taxi agencies are replaced by Uber. So you will be replaced as well. And again, this is not to scare you, but this is reality. If you don't upgrade yourself, especially as I said, especially those who are in the middle management, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 years of experience, this is where the max worry is. So it's time to upgrade yourself, and not just AWS alone. Now you're getting an opportunity to learn the Kubernetes, and it's all possible. So I'm going to give you the example and you can connect to these guys. I'm going to give you, happy to give you Raj Lakshmi from US. She moved to US for daughter's birth. She took a 2 years break. And now I got an offer from Infosys again in US. I've attended only one interview and I got selected from your teaching. Thanks for your teaching. Again, we said that if you're with me, if you believe in yourself, you need to believe in yourself, will give you that confidence, but you need to do the work. The confidence comes from doing the work. So this is Raj Lakshmi or another one, Srinivas. So whether you're doing for job or Srinivas, I got all the confidence. So he's already working. He's already got a job. He's not behind the job, but he's doing some things, but he wasn't sure what he's doing, or he's doing to a level, but he wanted a confidence, someone to be with him, so he can ask help others. His team, $1 million project, 30 plus members, or able to crack 2 big middleware interviews. So I've like that. I have lots and lots of success stories. I've already mentioned to you about I've attended interview 3 big companies, 1 flop. And again, it's okay to be failure, but how quickly you can bounce back. And I'm not saying you that every interview you collect clear, you might get it on first attempt. It's okay. It's okay to be fail. But real failure is if you give up. So bounce back and come back. Second and third interview went well. I'm expecting offers from both the companies by end of this week. So this is the kind of confidence you need. So we believe in result. The reason why we are so successful is because of the result, not just 1, 2, 3, but 100,000, 5,000 plus now success stories. So AWS certified. Gagi, I'm giving an example in my Kubernetes training. We have another Kubernetes, which we go deep into Kubernetes certification example. And like that, and these are real guys. This is every testimonial you see on website is I know how fake can some guys be, and I hate that. And I don't want you to fake anything in your CV as well. We are going to give you the job, even if you're a fresher, but with putting and saying what employer want to hear. And I'm good. We have in our program, we have a CV preparation tips. We're going to help you with what kind of a CV to write based on your experience. So without writing a fake thing, telling, but showing your value to the employer. So this, we believe in results. Now, there are some questions prerequisite for AWS. Now, come with open mindset. All you need is a right attitude to learn with whatever age you group you are, whether you're a fresher or you're working non-IT. We are going to give you basics as well. Again, we do a lot of programs. I'm more than happy to give you the result, because when you get the result, you're going to come back again, or you're going to tell it to 10 other guys, and those 10 other guys will tell to 10 other guys. So the whole point is about word of mouth. So you don't need to worry about no prerequisite. We are going to make it simple. Even if you have not done the foundation program, we are going to cover everything for you here. You'll be okay. So no prerequisite from the learning point of view. No programming, no coding language required. How long it will take, I've already told you. So we ideally think anything between 6 to 8 weeks. You can do quicker as well. You can take slightly longer as well, but don't overwhelm yourself. Don't stress yourself. Learning should be fun, but learn concepts well, because concepts is a very important thing. Once you understand them, once you do the labs, and then so 8 weeks. I'm a fresher. Can I learn? Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to give you some tips on your CV. We're going to help you with the CV preparation. And if you're in India, because my team is in India, if you're in India, if you do the certification, come and speak to me. If you passed out in 2019, 2020, or if you're going to pass out in next year as well, I'm going to offer you a seat right now immediately. So just drop an email to jobs@k21academy.com if you're any certified that, because we constantly look for, I'm constantly hiring even in COVID situation. Why? Because I want guys who have actually have done these things. So I hope you understand. I'm going to give you CV preparation tips on that as well. Any programming language required? No, there's no programming language required for this. So there's no coding. This is an architect infra guys. So there's no coding required. Do I need to learn coding? No. Will you cover customer case study? Very good question. Yes, we do. We're going to go give customer case study as I think Aryan was also saying, there is a 5 or the architectural well-designed architecture. So what is a well-designed architecture based on different criteria? We're going to give them some of those case studies. In fact, we're going to have, after once we cover some part of the theory, we're going to say how it's being implemented on customer, because ultimate aim is not just the clear the certification. Certification will clear that, but the get better job as well. Will you cover project implementation? Absolutely, we're going to cover that. So this will be going to be the best experience for you in the project. Now with that, I know I've taken a lot of time, and these are some of the guys with, and again, I couldn't fit in all. Couldn't fill all 100, 200 testimonials, and we are constantly getting testimonials. So Jacob, Ajmal, Utpal, Pablo, and a lot. Oh, I'm 58 years. Someone was asking, oh, I'm 43 or 46. I'm 43. I'm still constantly learning. I don't need to learn anymore now. I don't work for an individual any one company now anymore. I'm still learning because I'm passionate, because I enjoyed learning new things. I can then share my learnings. I can see where industry is moving. Jacob, 50 years old, feeling quite desperate about making the transition to cloud. I'm certified now cloud architect with the cloud migration is going well. Attributed much of my successful cloud career to K21 Academy and some other outside sources. Prove that if you can crack into cloud with the right level of training, I'm grateful for the program. And again, these are not one, two, three, but hundreds of them. So with that, I'm going to take a sip of water. I'm going to hand it over to my team. A lot of you guys are still here, so I would love to hear your questions. Program is $399. Everything you're going to get it as a part of this program as well. I'm going to take some questions now and over to my team. Can you take control now from here and run the timer? The bonus which I said to you, bonus was about which one? One bonus which was about EKS, Elastic Kubernetes services only for while we are here for next 15 minutes or so. And after that, we'll close. Some of you guys have already paid. Big congratulations. So there are a lot of payments are there. So big congratulations for guys. Thank you very, very much. Okay, I think I've already mentioned Sandhya. But if I'm not taking your name, doesn't mean that it's not. It just not have come to me. But 1 second, let me start my. Okay, great. So let's start taking the questions. Okay, so Tanvi, Shamir, Abid. Okay, so let me few name. Shamir, and if I don't pronounce your name correctly, I'm extremely sorry, guys. But Shamir, William, Nishant, Tanvir, Pooja Natkumbari. Hold on 1 second. I can't see the names. Some of them name. Hold on 1 second. Mridula. Oh, let's do one thing. Let's take the questions, guys. So big congratulations for those who have paid. You're going to get the bonus in next how much time? Next 24 hours. That bonus, because I think I added that bonus last minute. So hopefully by end of tomorrow in next 24 hours, you will see the bonus on the program. If you for some reason if you can't, just hit reply to the email that we have shared with you. With that, over to you, Simran or Yamni or Mrugakshi from my team, whosoever is available here.
So yes, Atul, I'm here for questions today. So
Yep.
I just noted down a few couple of questions. So Naresh is asking, will taking this course helps me in complete Azure certification as well?
Okay, no. So Azure certification is different. Yes, but you will understand the Azure related concepts from here. But Azure certification is different. You will definitely get help and you will be learning Azure will be quicker, but I don't want to give you false hope. Azure is a separate program. You should be learning. Things are slightly different and some services are different. So no, these are two different things. Yeah.
Okay. Next is from Freddy. He's asking, what about if I pay in next 10 hours? Can I get the free gift?
Oh no, unfortunately no. So the bonus is only for next 12 minutes or so, because we don't want to be like, someone have trusted and given the payment now. So unfortunately no. So you can still register on the discounted price, which is $399, but the EKS, which is Elastic Kubernetes service, will not be available after that.
Okay. Next is from K21. Is AWS enough to get a job, or should we learn some other courses as well?
I think that's a good point. So I think AWS will be enough to get you the job, as we said earlier. So you should be able to get a job enough alone with AWS. But the more you learn, the better you get paid, the higher. So when I started with 450 a day in my contracting rate. And that was enough for me when I was learning just one component of identity and access management called Oracle Internet Directory, which was similar to what you see is Microsoft Active Directory. So then I started learning with that identity access management. I then learned Oracle Access Manager single sign-on. Then I learned another product called Oracle Identity Manager, and this is after every couple of years. So Oracle Identity Manager, and all were around that identity access management only. Then I started learning how to integrate e-business suite with identity access management. Then I did Okta and few other things. Then I started moving cloud. How do you secure the cloud? And then I did cloud integrations. How do you integrate cloud with on-premise? How do you migrate your databases, applications? So it was a constant learning. So having more knowledge will help, but not mandatory. You will get a job.
Okay. Thank you, Atul. There's one question from Shweta Rani. She is saying that she have raised certain questions. Sorry, we couldn't find that question, Shweta. If you can post again. She is sharing her experience that she have previous experience in Oracle, MySQL, and MS SQL DBA. So
Microsoft
which
SQL
is the
database. Okay.
perfect? Yeah. So which is the perfect course for me as I'm in researching for job, and how you help me in job if you are searching for one and prepare for it. So
Wonderful.
she's
Okay.
basically.
Okay, great. I'm going to do it. I'm laughing because someone said OID is toasted. Harshal is saying, okay, fine, Harshal, I can understand. No, OID is not toasted. Trust me, I still get a lot of highly paid jobs, especially in US and Middle East. In fact, we did an upgrade of OID recently. I've delegated to my team 11G to 12C. Huge potential. But the reason I've left or I'm still not doing, I get a lot of money, but it doesn't excite me anymore. So I've passed into my team to upgrade to OID. So it's not like it's toasted. It's a lot of money still. And but yes, OID is being slowly used by Identity Cloud Service or IDCS. Okay, so coming back to the question about if you're a DBA, if you're already working on a DBA, then you can pick up a database course. Like if you're depending on which database background you're coming from. If you're an Oracle DBA, I think you will be first doing Oracle Database Cloud Service or Database Cloud Service, and there are new things coming, which is Database Cloud Service in Exadata Cloud Service. There is a DBCS. Reach out to my team and they can help you if you're Oracle DB and have not done with our database first, Oracle database, because Oracle is doing very good in database alone. I'm talking about database cloud service or Exadata cloud service, autonomous databases. And I'm not saying this because you see Oracle have gifted me a t-shirt. It's not for that, because I earned a lot of money into migrating Oracle databases onto cloud. So if you're already working as a Oracle DBA, you can begin with Oracle database first and then pick up Azure or AWS or whatever cloud. That's what I did. I'm telling you my story, what I did. Or you can directly jump onto the AWS as well. Second thing which I wanted to show, if you are a fresher or if you have a little bit of database or all sort of databases, but not fully into database or not just hardcore DBA, but doing database touch here and there, then you pick up AWS will be good. In AWS, you will have the database parts or a database module itself. So something called as RDS, Relational Database Service, we cover briefly. So that Oracle the AWS exposes there's a Oracle for RDS, there's a Microsoft SQL for RDS, there's a RDS for any type of database, and not just relational databases, but NoSQL or unstructured data, data warehouse. All those services are available in AWS. So I think the question was, whosoever that question was, I forgot the name, but if you still have a follow-up question, let me know so I can answer that. Okay, I hope that was a little bit answer.
No.
I think it's Shweta Rani. I have a DB experience only, but now looking for a job. But if you're a DB experience, why you're looking for a job? You should be doing a job already. I hope that makes sense. If you're looking for a change, we can help you with that. Okay, Surendra is saying, got the email. I think Surendra, you registered. Welcome to the program. Viral is saying, I have something holding up now. Can I join the next batch if somewhere after a month or two? Yes, absolutely. That's a very good question. So Viral is saying, I have some work, but can I join? Yes. So the only two things is the bonus will not be available. So you can register now and join after 2 months. If you really want to get the benefit of discounted price as well as the bonus, you register now and attend in the next batch. That's totally okay for that. I was on a break to look after my son. Shweta Rani is saying, oh yeah, so Shweta Rani, I think you can do with Cloud DBA or you can move into AWS Cloud. If you have a 2 years break, then I think you should be learning cloud for sure, Shweta Rani. So you should be learning cloud in my view. So when is the next batch? So next batch will be after finishing this batch. So we do a batch in like one after another. So once this batch finishes, after that we'll do a 1 or 2 weeks break and to recap, help with job preparation, other things, and then we'll start another batch after that. So we are constantly running these batches. Next one.
Abbas is asking, please let me know how certification is important for getting a job.
Oh, as I said earlier, I think I've covered. I think this might be an old question, but certification will not get your interview clear, but it will get you an interview call. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm saying. So the certification will help you in getting your CV in front of a interviewer, and then it's your job to do the labs. or do or and answer their questions as well. Okay, I think I have answered the question.
Surinder is asking, is payment done? Simran, if you can just confirm him. He's
Surinder,
asking for
what's
confirmation.
your email ID? Surinder, if you can post it, maybe I might have, because we have a couple of systems depending on how you're paying and whether it's installment or Abdul Hakim, Jen Thomas. Okay, oh, I got list from Amit. So Jen Thomas, Sandhya, Williams, Nishant, Harshal, Naresh, Charles, Kamla, Giridhar, Murdula, Pujita, Tanveer, Tayo, Freddy, Mathivan, Ashok, Katiswarani, Ganesh, Surendra, Palumi, Abdul Hakim, and I think there are 3 more. Send me again. So big congratulations, guys. And if I've not taken your name, it doesn't mean that yours not come. It's not come to me yet. So thank you very much for believing and trusting. And we're going to add more value. I'm going to take some new names in a minute. Next one.
So, it was a question from Shivesh. Atul, I asked you previously that is it good idea to learn Azure, AWS, and OCI? Is one cloud not enough? How would learning multiple cloud help in building my career? What
Oh,
should be the learning path for
that's a good
multi-cloud?
question. That's a good question as well. And I think I was in a dilemma because I think 4 years back I worked extensively in Oracle, and Azure or Microsoft or AWS were cryptic, and I didn't like any of those initially to begin with. And I thought, oh, Oracle is good and I can do with Oracle, and I earned a lot of money from Oracle. So we were migrating databases and applications and a lot of big EBS migrations, and a lot of work. You might think, oh, there's no cloud from Oracle, but you will be surprised, really shocked to kind of money is available on those customers. And these are big customers. They are the customers who spend maybe millions just for licenses. They're pretty expensive licenses, Oracle databases, and they're ready to spend a lot of money. So if you're an Oracle DBA, my suggestion to you would be stick to first Oracle and make sure you do Oracle Cloud. If you're Oracle DBA, because I see a lot of DBAs. If you are not a Oracle, or so that's first. Then once you've done Oracle Cloud, then comes multi-cloud. So and how I came into AWS and Azure was that we were implementing for customer, and they said, my database is on Oracle. Fine, you've migrated to Accelerator Cloud Service, but you'll be surprised to know that Microsoft and Oracle have done the tie-up. And similarly, I'm assuming soon as like AWS will come up as well. So they've connected their cloud, and you run as I think earlier Aryan was talking about, database is running on one cloud vendor and application running on another cloud vendor. Now people will say, oh, how will handle latency? Oh, latency is, these cloud are now on within same data centers. So ultimately these are from most of these cloud vendors are and you'll be surprised they are sharing the space like Equinix or big data centers, and they are different server racks which are and their clouds are connected by interconnected pipe. So they, oh sorry, I think I'm getting distracted from the questions, and there are a lot of questions are coming, so let me connect all those questions as well. So the customers then now look for and say, I'm running some applications on AWS, some applications on Azure, some applications on Oracle or Alibaba, and so on. So having that knowledge of multi-cloud is important then. But I'm not saying that jump on 2 cloud, 3 cloud together. You can jump on one and add more. So I know, I think Jen Thomas, you're one perfect example of you're part of Azure, and you've done now AWS as well. So definitely. So I think this is what you're going to help to earn more, and you'll be, if you're going into the enterprise line, you should be knowing how these are implemented in AWS, how these are implemented in Oracle or Azure, and so on. Yeah, so Jen Thomas is part of OCA as well. Wonderful, well done. So Jen Thomas is like one of those, you see that you get the value and coming back again and again. Wonderful. Some guys are asking about the class. Can someone my team help the class start date? I don't have top of my head. My team will help you or answer you. Sridevi is saying, I need advice. Can I talk with Atul? Sridevi, I think reach out to Mudit for my team and connect with him and give your country code and phone number. He'll connect and he'll see. But gap is not a problem as long as you have right attitude to learn and pick up. If you're already Oracle DBA, then I would suggest you pick up our DB to Cloud DBA Exadata, and you can help. Or you want to move into complete cloud or AWS cloud, you can do AWS cloud as well. Okay. Isha is saying, I have taken maximum flexibility payment. Am I getting Kubernetes along with this? Yes, you're going to get, Isha, you're going to get Kubernetes as well, but you're going to get Kubernetes. You need to wait for once all your installment are paid, or you can upgrade to the full payment. You can pay the remaining and you get AWS Kubernetes immediately. But I think my suggestion to you would be, if you've done installment, it's okay. Once all your installment are done, we're going to give you the AWS Kubernetes as well with that. Yes, but you're getting it. But once all the installment are done. William is saying, Ajay is saying, I'm not a fan of programming. You don't need to do any programming, Ajay, on this. Ajay, you don't need to do any programming. Okay, William Muko is saying, I did. I'm not sure what is that. Can you, when you post your question, can you put all the questions together so that we can help? Ajay is saying, have been in US, been in IT management, and reintroduced myself into IT again. Wonderful. I think you need to, those who are in middle management or on a senior management, you need to go back to the IT or go back to the technical things, because I see there are a lot of managers who talk, but, and again, with all due respect, but when you speak to them management, they don't know or they don't talk the same language. So even if you're not doing the individual tasks, you should still be knowing at least on talking the same language as your technical team. And if you can do that, you can be a very good manager. So have a cloud practitioner learned SAA right now? What part do you suggest? Can you repeat again, Ajay? I'm not clear. When you say SAA, can you elaborate? System analyst, architect, I'm not sure what you elaborate a little bit. Someone was asking about, I saw a question that, can I take this course just for labs? I don't know to do the certification. Can I do just for labs? Absolutely. Labs put a lot of value. So yes, you can. Next one. Oh, there's so many questions. Give me a
Yes,
minute
I was
of
just
break.
searching for more questions, Atul. So Naresh is asking, with this course, I can only get associate level AWS. How about professional AWS?
Okay, so professional is next level. We're going to tell you, I don't want to promise right now. You will get a glimpse of professional, but professional is a little bit deep onto that. So with some more knowledge, you might be able to do. And we are working on professional level certification to say, because we want to have one thing best, and then professional probably will be coming as well. But that's separate program. That's the next level. So focus on one thing at a time, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Ankit is asking, I'm an Oracle Apps DBA. Please tell me which cloud I should go for first, Oracle or
Okay, Oracle Apps
AWS.
DBA, there's the Oracle Cloud, and there's a e-business suite, lift, build, manage, and cloud. Reach out to my team and contact at k21academy.com. We're going to give you another one. With that, can you learn AWS with that? Absolutely. What one? If you have to pick only one, then probably I would suggest you pick. If you're an Oracle Apps DBA, you pick that first. You want to continue learning, extend or enhance on top of that. There's something called as e-business suite, lift and shift, and migration to Oracle Cloud. Under the database tier, you'll be running Exadata or VMDB, virtual machine database system, or bare metal DB system. And then apps tier you can run on any cloud, or ideally you'll be running Oracle Cloud for e-business suite because it's tightly coupled. Okay, 1 second. When you're saying, I mean, AZ104 and SA A02 are the same level. So I think I wouldn't call them at the same level. These are two different things. You can call it the same level venue as well. And I think their professional level is matching with AZ10 300, Azure 300. There's no like for like. It's very difficult to answer that when your question. Okay. Next question is, if someone is, Mohammed Tanvir is saying, if someone is from VMware background, which course is most effective? So what exactly you do? I'm assuming you do virtualization, you do VMware management. So cloud is definitely for you. But with that, you can also do Kubernetes administration. So there is a separate program we do. What you saw today here is a implementation of Kubernetes into the cloud, which is AWS cloud. So Mohammed, speak to my team, Mohammed Tanvir. There's also one is called a certified Kubernetes administrator. So the big chunk of VMware has been taken away from VMware and going into into this containerization, the microservices model. So look at that certified Kubernetes administrator, because whatever earlier we were deploying on a VMware, the VMware will still be there. The virtualization layer will still be there, but on top of that, now running containers and Kubernetes. So the Kubernetes by default have its own container runtime. And that container runtime, you can define what you want to set up. So go for that. Ooh, So many questions still unanswered.
Atul, there's one more question related to the bonus that what are the benefits of Amazon Elastic Kubernetes services?
Oh, wonderful question. I think I wanted to take that. So first of all, in Kubernetes is tough and hard, and I need to be transparent with you. It's tough only if you don't know the thing. And though the program that we have on Kubernetes, we have tried to do it so simple and so straightforward. As you said, Gargi, she managed to complete the certification within 30 days. But the biggest task in Kubernetes cluster is the master node. You need to upgrade. When you upgrade, you need to look at the master node. Managing master node is challenging and time consuming. And the majority of work is done by the worker node. But you as an administrator needs to manage master node. And in cloud Kubernetes, we call managed Kubernetes, where what we mean by manage is that master node is managed by the master node is run and by AWS. So you will be connecting to master node by getting the logs. You'll be doing other things, but you don't need to worry about upgrade of master node. You only need to worry about upgrade of worker node, or you don't need to worry about whether master node any problem with master node. You need to only worry about worker node. So this is one of them, one of the examples of that. Yeah, I think, and there are a lot of other things as well, which is difficult to cover within next a minute or so. Abdul is saying through your portal. I'm not sure through your portal. What is the question, Abdul? If you've already paid, you don't need to worry about. You jump on WhatsApp group and ask questions, and also you should be receiving an email address. So you'll be getting that as well on that. What do you call? Sorry. On the portal, you will have an email ID on how to reach out to my support. So if you already paid, you don't need to worry about. You'll be covered. Someone will give you a call in next 72 hours to make sure that you have everything and you received everything. And if you need any further help, they will be able to guide you. And also make sure you join WhatsApp group and ask questions in WhatsApp group if you've already paid. Raj Kumar, welcome to the program. Purna, welcome to the program. Joseph, welcome to the program. Thank you guys, everyone, for trusting, believing. And as I said, let me see how many time more. Oh, we are already close to the timer. 15 minutes is over. So I want to take one or two more questions. Should we continue? I still see, oh wow, so many are still here. So guys, let me know what question you have, and are you borderline? Are you still thinking, so that I can close? If you are thinking of going for AWS certification, either you stay out and say no, it's not for me, or you say, oh, it's for me, but I'm still borderline, I'm still thinking. The reason being is that a lot of guys come later and they say, oh, I missed that opportunity and I want to register now, but I want to get that bonus, which is EKS, and becomes 497 worth. It's a quite expensive bonus because this is one of the latest technologies. This is something probably is hot in the market. A lot of employers look for that. That speaks in the CV. If you say, I also know Kubernetes with AWS, imagine now what is going to happen. So I don't want you to miss on that opportunity if you really want to. So make sure you're interested and you do that. So I'm going to extend this bonus as long as we are here, and after that it will be gone. And trust me, I'll not be able to offer that after this, so I'll not be doing that. But while we are on the question answers, I'll take few more question answers, and after that we'll close it. Now, Levanya is saying about the feedback. Oh, thank you very much for the feedback. Two more things before we close, before we take few more questions. Can you go to the next slide? I totally forgot about that, and every time I forget this. So we also have a Telegram group. You should already be part of Telegram group. So WhatsApp group is where I'll be regularly available all the time, and I enter onto this Telegram group. It's free. I enter maybe once in a week and answer as much as questions I can. So if you're not if you've not decided to join the program, which is still okay, you can continue learning by going to t.me/K21 Amazon AWS. And if you go to the further slide, next one, and then also make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have just started. We did a lot of Oracle things, and we did a lot of Kubernetes, Docker, other things. We're also adding now AWS. I've started recording AWS related videos. So youtube.com/K21 Academy. We already have 12,000 plus subscribers. So we're going to give a more value. And now you go back to the previous slide again, please. Okay. And then put the timer to 0 just to say the timer is up now. And will be will just as long as we are here. Now, can you tell us more about JobServe, Freddy? Very good question. So what will happen is once you go complete the program, we'll tell you some keywords to search for in order for find a job, and say go to the appropriate job portal of your country, and we'll give you how to search. And best way is just go to Google and say for AWS or for things like that, just say AWS jobs in US. Now, not every job will be for you, so you're going to identify. We'll give you some tips. So then you are going to say, oh, this is it look all right to me, this is for, is this job for me or not? And by the time once you are probably 50% or 60% of the program, you will start understanding whether this job is not for you or not. And there might be more things. So we'll tell you about so you prepare your CV based on that job description and then send it to us for critique. And we're going to suggest some things and say, hey, you have to focus this or change this or do that, not by faking it. Real what you do. If we see there's a gap which you should focus on, we'll put that as well. And then we'll give you some interview tips. We're going to give you some question answers to expect in the interview, some common questions. And then we also share what others are getting these questions. And of course, a lot of will be on the learning, and then only you'll be able to do that. So I hope that makes sense. So any certificate for the attending webinar, Lavanya? No, sorry, unfortunately, we don't do attending, but if you do join the program, we'll be having program completion once you complete the program. AWS Associate covers on-premise workload migration to AWS. Venue, I think we cover, otherwise we'll help you. Don't worry about migration, Venue, about this. Guys, I'm extremely sorry. I was not anticipating so many questions, and it's extended slightly longer than I was initially hoping for. So sorry for that, guys. So can you repeat one more time? Final question, sorry, Yamini. And any further questions I'll be happy to take in our free Telegram group. If you couldn't attend, free Telegram group, or maybe reach out to my team on contact@k21academy.com, and happy to do. There's one person who wanted to reach out because of the job gap. Please reach out to Mudit and he'll connect it with me. Yeah, final question asked Yamini.
Yeah, so the final question was from Shrikant, that the certification that you are providing after the course will be from AWS or from K21 Academy.
Oh no,
just
you
to
will
know
be
for
no. So you will be writing an exam, and that AWS is issuing you. You need to write an exam after that, and AWS is issuing you a certificate. On top of that, we are also going to give you one certificate from our side as well, saying you've completed successfully, provided you do all the 30 labs. Not everyone wants to do the certification, or not everyone wants to do our lab. Like, I would recommend you to do that lab as highly recommended. So once you do all our 30 labs, we'll issue a certificate saying you've successfully completed AWS certificate with us. And on top of that, I highly recommend you to go for a AWS certification, which is done by AWS. You're going to write exam. Now, you're saying, Freddie is saying, I'm a cybersecurity risk management. How can I blend with AWS? I think you will have to do AWS or any one of the cloud, because cybersecurity and risk management is part of AWS. Every cloud has a service of security, and there is a whatever on-premise SCIM used to do all the security events that you were blending or doing. Freddie, you will be doing that on cloud as well. So cloud-related events, you can either keep it in cloud, like AWS has a security related stream where you put all your security events, intrusion detection events, any like firewalls you're putting, all those you're doing on premise, you'll be doing on cloud as well, exactly the same. And you'll have a security service where you put all the events that are generated, whether it's related to who entered what time, what changes they made. You might have some risky events. You want to put an alert on those risky events. You want to be notified for those risky events. So whatever you're doing on premise on for that, you'll be doing on cloud as well. Absolutely, Freddie, that's important. Next one, please. I'll be dropping call now. It's too late here. I totally understand. So I don't do. Okay, I think I'll close this now. With 5 payment, what should I do next? Mohammed is saying with 5 payment, what should I do next? Very good question. Do nothing. We are going to reach out to you, join the WhatsApp group, and the next section is we'll discuss in WhatsApp group. The next session timing will give you some lab exercise to begin with, and we'll be discussing, jump on the WhatsApp group, and we'll be discussing taking it further. Wonderful, Mohammed. Welcome to the program. Thanks, everyone. There's still some payments coming in. So after that, we'll no more what do you call bonus after this. When can I start the labs? Immediately, Freddie. You don't need to wait for labs to start. Immediately, you jump on the call. Oh, sorry, you jump on the session. Oh, sorry, not even session. So if you've already paid, welcome. You can ask all these questions, Freddie, into the labs, and we can give you some labs specific to security because I'm very close to security. I've worked extensively on identity and access management, and I do a lot of, as saying, IDCS, Federation, OAuth, SAML, and Mohammed, can I get the bonus? Yes, if you paid full amount, you'll get immediately, or after all your payments are done, you'll get it bonus, not a problem. When I can start the lab, Freddie, you can start immediately. Come onto the WhatsApp group, give me a couple of hours break. It's very tiring. Trust me, I'm speaking for last 3 hours or so. But then I'll be coming on that WhatsApp group soon in a couple of hours, and then you can ask questions. If you, I think you're from US, you can, so you can start immediately, Freddie. Look at the questions and in our portal. Any issues? Post in WhatsApp group. Final question, Vijay. For C plus C minus minus developers, is it C plus plus developers? Sorry, C plus plus developers or 13 years. Is it okay to move to AWS or Azure? Which one is better? I think if you're doing C plus plus, which is from Microsoft, Vijay, I think you should be doing developer cloud service. We have another certification. AZ204 will be better for you because of you already on C++ from Microsoft, biggest developer base. They have a very good DevOps track with a developer. So AZ204, reach out to my team, contact at k21academy.com. They will share the 204. AZ204 is one better for you, Vijay. Or you can also go for Kubernetes application developer, certified Kubernetes application developer. But if you want to move into cloud or cloud development, then AZ204 or otherwise certified Kubernetes application developer. Even Linux as well, that's fine. Microsoft's new logo is we love Linux. Microsoft love Linux. They started last year. Satya Nadella has changed completely. So C++ Linux totally fine, not Microsoft. I was not even aware that you can do C++ in Linux. So maybe something eye-opener. I'm not come from a developer background. I'll reach out to my team, contact at k21academy.com. I'm going to speak to my Azure developer and AWS developer track, and I'll speak and I'll come back to you, Vijay. Reach out to my, make sure you speak to contact at k21academy.com so we can give you the right advice and right thing. But anyway, I'm going to pick these questions. With that, I would like to thank everyone like Harshit, Mudit, Neha. Harshit will be managing the technical side, coordinating, helping. Mudit, Neha, Simran, Yamni, everyone who spent a lot of time and energy into that. And Aryan, brilliant job to you, Aryan. Big thank you for doing the brilliant job. So wonderful job, and thanks everyone for those who have registered. Those who are paid in now, you will definitely get a bonus on that. If you paid in full amount, I think I've got few more payments. So big congratulations, guys. Shuab Khan, yes, you'll get the, you just registered, yes, you'll get the bonus. I think you'll be the last person. But if I've not taken your name and if you already paid, don't worry, you'll get the bonus as long as it's within while we were live. And now after that, we'll not get it. Yeah. So that's fine, totally understand, and no problem. Make sure you join the WhatsApp group. You will get the bonus if you paid in full within next 72 hours, and if not, just there'll be support ID for you to reach out. If you paid in installment, once all your payments are done, then you'll get the bonus. I hope that makes sense. I hope it was good. I hope we were able to add value and will continue to add value. Keep an eye on your inbox. I still see, wow, I still see a lot of you guys are here. 133 are still here on the class now. It's a big number, especially now, especially we are at close of that. So if you're borderline, if you're still thinking, you still have an opportunity to learn, continue, keep an eye on your inbox. We'll be keep adding more and more valuable information. I'm going to keep some videos to help you on to see what's more coming, and we'll go deep into these topics. Irrespective of whether you've joined or not, we'll continue to add value, and make sure that you tell us about others, and tell us what you want to hear more. And if you need to reach out or if you want to speak to me, right way to reach out to me is speak to Mudit for my team. He'll be the person to speak to you. He will connect with me if provided that you have done your work, or if you have a very specific question for me, I'm more than happy to speak to you guys as well. With that, thank you for believing in us and being with us. Okay, one final question. Masego is saying, a quick question: will this recording be emailed or uploaded on YouTube? It will not be uploaded on YouTube. It will be emailed to you, but that recording will be available just for a few days. So make sure it will be next 24 hours or so. So it will be sent to an email. That will not be on YouTube. It will be only on a YouTube on there, because what I've said, what I think is, when you get something on YouTube, people don't read or listen or do, and I believe in getting results. I believe in things getting. So watch this replay one more time on your. It will be emailed to you in next 24 hours, maybe in next couple of hours. Give 4-5 hours, and you should get a recording of that. And very informative. Thank you very much, Masud. You're saying very informative. We're glad that you are helping who are not joining here. Really nice, Vijay. Thank you very much. Jait from Nigeria. I'm coming from a telecom background. Is it possible to join? Absolutely. Telecom is moving to cloud. Everything is moving to cloud. Financial institutes are moving to cloud. How can we save the recording? Will be available on portal for play for a couple of for a week or so, Shawl. So you can watch it maybe as many times as you want, and after that it'll be gone. If you are paid, it will be inside the portal for you for a lifetime. Thank you very much, and take care. And big thank you for Yamni, Simran, Mudit. Big thank you for helping our students, and Simran, thank you, and Neha for doing the brilliant job with presentation, and Aryan, brilliant job, everyone. Thank you very much. Take care, and bye for now.